Hello everybody and welcome to Front Row Racing for what'll be the title showdown in the Front Row Racing World Series. It's round 21. We're from Abu Dhabi. We've got about 15 minutes until we send the drivers over to the racetrack, so we're going to have a bit of a chat before we do send the drivers over there. But yeah, it is a title showdown today between Hindle and Konzo. However, there's plenty of drivers on the grid that are going to try and throw a spanner in the works if they can. And I don't mean literally, I do just mean figuratively speaking. I'm from a Racing DP. I'll be on the broadcast tonight, and my co-commentators are TempFear and ARAZOR21. I think TempFear is just having a bit of a comfort break at the moment. So, Tony, how are you this evening?
I'm good.
Oh, is it? He's finished.
We are all here.
Okay, well, we're going to try and have a bit of a chat in a moment about the obvious title fight that we've got on the cards today. However, we are going to just run through the last race standings, resultant standings actually. So if I can get those details, we shall run through those. So the race results from round 20 in Brazil was a very interesting race, and one that unfortunately the finishing order changed post-race with post-race penalties. However, I think it was Curly Whirly went on to take the win for Wrong Tyres Renault and as a reserve driver. Hindle ended up finishing in second place ahead of his teammate Konzo, so the small points gap that Konzo had brought it down to opened up again, unfortunately, with Konzo finishing in third. We then had Nuts Bumfluff finishing fourth, the second reserve driver for the Wrong Tyres Renault. Then we had the FRR admins pick rookie, which was Maznat on the day, finished in fifth. From a Racing GP finished in sixth with Calzo seventh, Garfield eighth, and then we had the $1 Million Herbie Toro Rosso of Lord JB finishing ninth, with Dave the Harp 10th and Farfba in 11th. We had Yuzi, MX Everglow, RDB, Lefty Hardtail all did not finish. Three of those guys were taken out in the first corner, I believe. Let's see, Millstar unfortunately was a disqualification along with Rickster for no race footage, and Kane Ianda and Jason were unable to start the race. On to the Drivers' Championship standings then, and we've got Hindle and Konzo, as I said, battling it out for the title. It'll be decided tonight, or potentially in about a week's time when all the post-race incidents have been dealt with. We'll have to wait and see what happens on that one. But Hindle's leading the way at the moment on 278 points. Konzo has 266 points. Situation is, Konzo needs to finish at least third with Hindle out of the points, or Konzo needs to win with Hindle fourth or lower. If Hindle is ahead of Konzo, it's all over for Konzo. Lefty Hardtail's third in the standings on 130 points, from a Racing GP's fourth on 113. Then we've got Rickster in fifth on 96 points. Not too far away is SBL Mali Kekech on 77. And then we've got Jason in a close fight with Calzo, that's 68 points and 66 points. And then we've got Valdemar, who's not racing tonight. Curly Whirly's in as a reserve for him again, but Valdemar's on 52 points, with the FRR admins pick rookie car on 49. Kane Ianda is on 41 points in 11th place, while Ant69 is only a few behind him on 37, but he's not racing tonight. Lord JB is in his place. Dave the Harp is on 36 points, so he could gain a place tonight, but he's closely followed by Farfba, who's on 35 points. Millstar only 7 points behind on 28 points, and RDB is on 25 points. We've then got Garfield in 17th place on 18 points, and Yuzi and MX Everglow as the non-scorers. But I am going to quickly hand over now to TempFear. Drop him in it. If you could run through the Constructors' Championship standings for us.
Yep, that's fine. So like I say, we got the two championship protagonists going at it at the front and being in the same teams. Not surprising, they've won the Constructors' Championship by quite a significant margin. So Petrol and Mercedes, 569 points, and with Yank and Lime in second, 293 points, almost 300 points behind. In third, we have the Mentage 10 McLaren on 252 points, which I believe they do have a very heated rivalry with Wrong Tyres Renault, who are just 2 points behind on 250, so it'll be interesting to see how that pans out of this race. In fifth, we had, this car goes past my house, lovely. In fifth, we had Censored Williams on 206 points, kind of in a bit of no man's land. A good result, could maybe sneak somewhere. In 6th is the old crash test Miss Ferrari, 172, again, kind of by themselves. 7th is the New Age Outlaws Red Bull, 97. 8th, $1 Million Herbie Toro Rosso on 68, who have Force India, the Hey Double Force India, just 7 points behind in 9th. And then a further 12 points behind them is the FRR rookie Maribobo Haskar.
Good stuff. Now, I'm pretty sure that ARAZOR is going to say at some point that it's not going to rain tonight, which is quite possibly true. However, it could rain tonight. It could.
I'm still
there is always a chance. There is always a chance, but it would be bad if the title would decide whether it's raining or not. So
quite possibly. Okay, Temp, just need you to quickly check the lobby settings. It's possible that you got the lobby set on friends only, not on invite only. Which if it's on the multiplayer championship mode, once we get the drivers in, it shouldn't be a problem anyway.
Yeah, it's on the multiplayer championship, so we should be fine.
Okay, no problem. Obviously, we're on early for a change, with it being the last race of the season and it being the title fight, as I've mentioned. Hindle versus Konzo, 12 points between them, and it's an interesting situation. I mean, I was talking with you, Tony, a few moments ago that something we've wanted to see all season long is a Hindle v Konzo battle on the track, and we've seen flashes of it at times, but both drivers have had difficult seasons, and I mentioned to you that tonight's a really weird one, because for Konzo, he doesn't want a close battle. He can't afford it to be a close battle. For Hindle, he wants it nice and close. So the viewers, they probably want it nice and close, but actually, I think from my perspective, I want it to be that spread out battle with Konzo ahead and Hindle behind, and what's going to happen. What about yourself?
That would be quite a dramatic if there would be a spread out console leads like 30 seconds and Hindle is closing at around sixth place or something, and it would be like fun to see that kind of battle, but yeah, like we all want to play close, but you never know what's gonna happen.
That is very, very true. Talking about Hindle and Konzo as well, obviously we've had pre-race comments off both of these guys, and both have got slightly different approaches. And with the commentators' curses that I've had over the course of this season, I've asked them both exactly the same question. I've kept it nice and simple. So I said to Konzo, to avoid any curse, I'll keep it simple. Any comments? And that was it. That was the only question I've asked, so you can't blame me for any curses. And Konzo said, coming to this track, I have done as much practice as I could have done over the last few days. It hasn't helped in the past that I have not been quick around this track, but that won't stop me in what I need to do. I know it's out of my hands, but we will have to wait and see what happens tonight. Hindle, on the other hand, a slightly different mentality, I think. I asked him exactly the same question, and Hindle said this season has been far from perfect for both himself and his teammate, but here we are, last race, winner takes all. Says good luck to him, and thanks to FRR for another great season. May the best man win. So if these guys end up on the podium and Konzo's won, we're going to have to see if we can get Hindle to say that Konzo is the better man. It was in his pre-race comments, so there we go. But yeah, I mean, it's an interesting one, definitely. There's still a few fights going on through the drivers' standings. But Tony, I was wondering if we could do a bit like we did with the World Championship last night and have a sort of quick run through the drivers with a quick one-liner from each of us, taking it in turns about the driver and how their season has gone. So if you'd like to give us a name, and maybe TempFear can give us the first comment on that driver.
Yeah, sure. Everyone wants to get some feedback from the commentators, so be ready for all generic comments. Okay, first we go with MX Everglow. Any comments?
Disappointed. Do you think he'd like to do better? We've seen him, he's capable, but I think he'll be disappointed this season.
Okay, next one.
UC 1985.
Interesting one. Came in very late on in the season as teammate for Lefty Hardtail. Definitely got some abilities, but had an unfortunate collision at Brazil in the last race that's going to hurt him tonight, as I believe he's got a qualifying ban. So yeah, one for next season definitely.
Garfield 86.
Go on, Tony, that one's for you.
Oh, that was for me. Oh, I have to say something. Did he join pretty late? So he was fast in some race, I can't remember, but I don't think he's been in the league quite some time, so hard to say, but I think he's pretty fast and he's looking for next season if he can do a full season with the World Series.
Definitely. Good generic answer. Next one.
Yes, RDP.
Oh. He'll have had fun this season. I'm not going to deny that. I mean, he's had a nice rivalry with his best friend Ant. So I think they're planning to move in together next season potentially. So yeah, I think he'd be happy, but also they'll be disappointed.
Next one is Millstar.
Millstar, he's had a tough season, but he's had a lot of studies as well and exams, which has compromised a lot of his practice time and races. We know he's got speed and ability, did well in Brazil last week. It'd be interesting to see how he gets on tonight.
Next one is Fartbach. Is it for me again?
Oh yeah, you get the good one.
Oh yeah. Yeah. What I have been racing with him like few seasons ago. He's pretty fast driver, so it's interesting to see him in a 14th place in this season. So I think he will want to rematch and start all over again from the empty table. I think so. And Dave the Harp next.
He's had a quiet season, if I'd say. I don't take offence to that. Jason's kind of outshone him at times. I mean, we know he's got consistency and a little bit of pace about him. Just not really showed it. Had quite a few tough races as well with a few collisions, I believe. So hopefully he can aim to come back stronger next season.
Next one is Ant69.
Ant69, he's had a very good season, you know. Some may think he hasn't. He's had a lot of first lap collisions, but his improvement, his rate of improvement, been fantastic. So he's definitely done well, and it'll be very interesting how he gets on next season if he's going to keep trying with no assists.
And next one is Kane. I don't actually know what to say.
Well,
I'm pretty bad in memory, so...
Well, Kane's an interesting one. He came in very early on in the season, and he's a very, very good driver. Struggled on a few occasions, but there's definitely been a couple of highlights and a podium for him this season, so good stuff.
Temp, want to say anything about Admin's pick rookie number 1?
What is that? You got me right in it now.
every rookie in the
every
season.
Rookie. Oh, okay, that's fair enough. Yeah, we had a few good reserves, or I don't think rookies even over the season. I mean, Simo's going to be the highlight, taking the win in China. Kind of threw a curveball in there at the start of the season. I mean, but yeah, they've all done well. I mean, coming in kind of last minute, it's never easy. So, I mean, it's quite interesting to see the amount of points the cars actually racked up as well. So maybe next season it could find itself a bit higher up.
Valdemar is next.
Valdemar definitely got tons of ability, that lad. Came in partway through the season into the Wrong Tyres Renault team. He's been on the front row a couple of times in qualifying, struggled a bit in races, but I mean, he's another one. Potential title contender next season.
And Calso is next. And he joined mid-season. I don't remember exactly when, but he has been one of the great stories of the season. He came in and he stacked up many points. He got a win or two, like at least one win he got. And with his background for not played the game before and everything like that, it's been pretty good season for him, I think.
Yep.
And Jason is next.
Jason, I mean, your best mate, Tony. I'm surprised you didn't want to do that one, but yeah, he's...
You can do it.
He's, again, I'd say similar to David Harpatch, his teammate in that sense. He's there. We know what he can do. He's a very capable driver, and he's just not delivered to the standards, at least I would have expected this season, and probably himself. I mean, like I say, we know what he can do, we know his pace. So yeah, I'd like to see him a bit further. Good next season, maybe he can end on a high tonight.
Definitely. I just want to let you know as well, guys, we'll just hang on a few minutes, get through this list and give those drivers that aren't in the lobby a chance to get in just yet. So yeah, remember what he's just said about Jason as well. Tony, who's next? We'll see if we can thrash through these last few. SBL Malikekets, young driver, quick driver. Some people might not like his comments at times, but confidence isn't arrogance. If you can back it up, that's what I say.
Next one is Rickster, and he has been one of the oldest, not oldest, but most veteran drivers in FRR. He has been here quite a while.
He's only 21. Oldest. He's old.
Yeah. Not meant like that old thing, but yeah, sure. He has been fast, and I don't know. It's been a good season for him, but I think he can do a bit better.
I'd agree with you. Okay, next one.
GP.
Oh, quad temp.
My best mate. I could kill him. I'll tell you that much with his comments. I mean, if you haven't heard the comments from the season, then you know I'm going to make you a watch, because I ain't repeating anything. Again, we know what he's capable of. He's been at the front. He's even been in World Championship, so he's more than capable of being at the front. Having the fight that he's in now, again, I think he'll be disappointed, but then when he does look who's above him, he may be actually okay with it. But if he does come back next season, I want to see more from him.
Yeah.
Lefty Hardtail.
Lefty Hardtail. He's had a really good season. He's had some very difficult races, Brazil being one of them. He's had a tough season, but he's had a brilliant season. And to be third in the standings at the moment just goes to show that no matter how difficult his season has been, the guy's got a talent and ability. Although how next season is going to go, don't know, because he has recently got engaged. So we'll see if the new wife's going to... I say new wife, like he's got an old wife sitting around somewhere. See how the wife copes with him wanting to race every week or every 2 weeks.
Next one is Konso, our contender for the title. And yeah, it's been a good season for him. A bit of disconnections and that kind of stuff, but he has been fast, not in the qualifyings, but in races. He has racked up wins and points, but he's still behind our number one driver currently, and I think he want to beat him badly today. And the last one is the man Hindle.
Oh, he's gonna hate me for reminding me of this. I mean, from Monaco, when myself and Dave were on board with him and he'd been hitting a wall when his teammate also been disconnected that race. I mean, could that play a role tonight? I don't know. I mean, but yeah, he's got nice poles, I believe, this season. Teammates got more wins than him, though, so that's probably the area he's going to want to improve on. Never disappoints, though. Still at the front. Good consistency overall. And yeah, see what he can do tonight for us. And hopefully he does come back again next season.
Yep, hopefully. Okay, so that's a quick run through the grid. It's taken us about 15 minutes, but there we go. Now, I just want to mention, I'm pretty sure that TempFear was quite praising of Jason, and which I think is right. Jason's a lovely guy, he's a good driver, but there's been one sort of main highlight of my season so far, and that's actually been from the Hey Ho Double Toe Force Indias. They're beautiful crashing out at Spa, but I think I'm about to have another favourite moment, because I'm just going to quickly pop in Jason's pre-race comments. And Temp, while I'm doing this, you may have to lock the lobby 221 if MX Everglow isn't able to join us. So Jason's pre-race comments, I asked him what's been the highlight of your season and what would be a good result for you tonight. And Jason said, hi, this track is not one of my favourites, but I've been practising a little bit, so I hope for some points. The highlight should be the Monaco Grand Prix, but I don't really remember how how it went. Well, you ended up on the podium, Jason, I believe. He said, I think the season is way too long, but not sure if I can get a whole season after this one. And I'll tell you what, thanks to DP, GP and ARAZOR for the best and brilliant commentary efforts. No mention whatsoever about TempFear. That's my other highlight of the season.
Better luck next season, mate.
Yeah.
I'm kicking him out. That's it. He's gone. He's gone.
Now, you see, I don't know if he meant to put Temp instead of GP, but he's not done that. He's not done that. I thought that was beautiful. Okay, so anyway, in a few moments' time, we are going to send the drivers over to the racetrack for round 21 of the Front Row Racing World Series. As I mentioned a few times, it's the title showdown between Hindle and Konzo. We have no idea how this is going to play out. I've mentioned about the connotations a little bit, about where Konzo needs to finish, where Hindle needs to finish, and we'll try and keep on top of that as best as we can throughout the race. As for the rest of the drivers, there are still a few battles down the order, and we will also try and keep on top of those. But we know what the focus is going to be. So if we are ready, guys, we will send the drivers over to the racetrack for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. It's an interesting circuit. I think it's a racetrack where a lot of people may be tempted to go with a low downforce setup. Because of the long straights, and it does help being able to overtake on the straights. However, if you're on the low aero setup, you need to have mechanical grip, or the car is just not very stable through Sector 1 and Sector 3. And overtaking is not the easiest to do around this track, so we'll have to see how the guys are going to get on today. Before we head over there, though, guys, I do also have a question of the day, but before that, I just want to ask TempFear and ARAZOR21, do you dare make any predictions on who may be successful this evening?
Well, there's no point for me. I'm not part of the comment stream. I'm just a spectator, you know? Just go on, Tony.
I'm not saying anything because I don't want to be responsible in any commentator scores tonight, so I'm quiet about that one.
Okay. Right, tyre choices. The drivers have got softest, balanced or hardest. Either way, it's the ultra soft tyre, the super soft tyre and the soft tyre. The the super soft being the red marked and the soft being the yellow marked, being the mandatory tyre. 2-stop is doable, 1-stop is doable, which is quicker could all depend on traffic in the race. I can't imagine many people are going to qualify on the ultra soft tyre because they will not go very far into the race, and then you are into traffic, and definitely on a 2-stop strategy. So here we go then, the Front Row Racing World Series round 21 from Abu Dhabi. Who will become the first 2-time World Series champion? We'll find out in about an hour's time, and depending on how the race goes. Obviously this is the point where my commentators have a quick look to see, have we got any rain? I doubt it very much, but you never know.
We have rain courtesy of Tony sweating.
Yeah. That's the only moisture around, I think. Oh, well, that's a bit of a shame. It is a bit of a shame. But it's Abu Dhabi, so we can't expect rain too much, to be honest. Okay, question of the day. And the answer to this is courtesy of a particular website, which I'm not going to give out at this time, because if I do, people will just go on there. So if people complain about what the answer is, it is in reference to a particular website that I'm using. Okay, so question of the day, as usually heads out of the very interesting pit lane here, is how many drivers have there been in Formula 1? So if anyone have a guess at the answer of that one, folks, pop your answers on the YouTube comments, and Tony will try and keep an eye on those. But yeah, how many drivers have taken part in Formula 1? So what my co-commentators think about that one and go, and try and do a bit of mathematics, we'll see, we'll get their answers shortly. Okay, so the drivers are out into the qualifying session. We'll see if we can get a couple of pre-race comments. And I've got Yuzi on screen at the moment, Temp. And Yuzi, as I mentioned earlier, I think he's got a qualifying ban at this point. So if you want to quickly mention his pre-race comments?
Yeah, just give me a second. Let me find him. Got too many drivers, too many comments. Usually there he is. So, kept decided to take it from us. It's a shame, like to know really. But we asked him, tough race in Brazil, that makes tonight's race even tougher. What a target as a good result for Abu Dhabi. And he replied back with, starting from the back isn't ideal, but I will see what I can do. It's going to be hard to score any points here for me. My 22nd time, but it all tucked up. Right off a fresh start, and my first full season with FRR. One thing I will say though about his qualifying ban is, okay, he does have those 20 seconds added on, which is going to hurt. But around here, starting at the back on fresh tyres, not actually that bad, really.
Okay. So who else do we have out there on track at the moment? Lefty Hardtail. Whether he's going to set a lap time on the Ultrasofts or not, I don't know. But what did Lefty Hardtail have to say before the race when we spoke to him?
So again, he was seeking these tyres, and we asked him, third in the driver's standings is a great result. Could tonight see you take the win? He replied that with, no, not got the speed for the win, unfortunately, but yes, if I can wrap up third place in the driver's standings, you know, the season I'll be very tough. Hopefully I'll survive the first lap this time out. Good luck. This time out. Good luck to all, and thanks to the commentary team and all FRR for hosting an excellent racing league. Oh, they're all so nice on me.
They are. They're all being kind. Give it 20 minutes at the start of the race. We'll see how kind they are then. Now, Lefty Hardtail. Yeah, Jason isn't to you. Okay, Lefty Hardtail's done an 18.4 sector 1, which would suggest to me that he's potentially on lean here on these ultra soft tyres. And to put that into perspective, some drivers may do a lap time on the ultra soft tyre but on lean just to get a banker lap in. They'll go out again on the super soft tyre because that's the tyre they want to qualify on. Well, I've got a question I want to ask you, TempFear. Tony, if you see anybody putting in 18.0 sector 1 times that we should jump on board with, give us a shout. But yeah, Temp, yesterday you put in your super soft lap time very early on. Was that a conscious decision, thinking the grip is better at the start of the session rather than at the end of the session?
See, I thought about this now, and kind of on the scenario of, okay, if I do an ultra soft lap, slow one, then do a super soft lap, and I screw it up, I'm then putting a lot of pressure on myself at the end. Yeah. So I did it just to try and reduce the amount of pressure I had. It probably did cost me a few tenths with, like, you know, coming out and out laps and distractions and whatnot. But yeah, I just like to get out of the way. Probably a bit of time in though with temperature, but just to, as you mentioned about tyres, everyone's out on set of ultras apart from Lord JB that I've seen so far, so there's an indication of what everyone's planning to do.
GP lapping 18.0 first sector, second sector 42.1. So.
Well, SBL Malikek actually sitting on provisional pole at the moment on ultra soft. So what would be quite funny is if everybody below SBL Malikek said, right, I'm not going to do any more laps, and basically make everybody in the top 10 start the race on the ultra softs. But having said that, doing a lap on lean on the ultra softs, you can still put in a relative lap time, but you should be able to easily beat it on the super softs on a rich mix lap.
Yeah. Okay. Someone that is going for a good lap at the moment, Kenyan at 17.9 sector 1 and a 41.8 sector 2 on the ultra softs. Into a little bit of traffic towards the end and we'll back right out of it.
He has backed right out of it. Yeah. I think that was Jason ahead of him. I was on board with Jason, and Jason, I think, not abandoned his lap, but sort of backed out of the lap to not sort of really complete the competitive lap time. And I think Kane Ianda sort of followed him doing exactly the same thing. Lord JB, is he continue on? Is this a second flying lap for him? Yes, it is. So as he comes around the final corner, heading up to the finish line now, and he stays in at 5th place. And let's see, Jason is on an in lap by the looks of it. So
Hindle started his flying lap.
Now, is he on? He's on the ultra soft tyre. Is he? If he's going for this, we're going to be looking at. Oh, maybe a bit too much curve there. He may be looking at sub 18 second sector 1 time as he comes up to the end of sector 1. Now it's an 18.3, so yeah, he's on a bit of a banker lap as well. I think we're just going to have to wait until drivers bolt on the super soft tyres and really go for it.
There are a few more out there on a set of super soft. I think the main one at the moment was the Curly Whirly. I did see David Harp out on a set of super softs, and I believe someone else, Fonzo's come out of the pits on a set of ultras. Lord JB was the other one at Millstar. I think Lord JB's the other one at the moment.
Okay, so yeah, so Curly Whirly then, I think he's going to be going for this right now then on the super soft tyre with the tyre he wants to start on. So heading up to turn 1, hard on the brakes, get onto that apex curb, not as much as he may have wanted to though, a little twitchy on the exit through turn 2, and now he'll be hoping to be flat out, but it sounded like he's having to lift it a little bit there, which means he's running quite a low wing. Hard on the brakes now into turn 4, a bit of a flip-flap chicane, but it leads on to the hairpin. I do think they should get rid of that chicane and just head straight into the hairpin. Let's see how his throttle application is. Maybe a bit of TC in there, or just very cautious using a higher gear. DRS wing wide open now. Let's see what sort of straight line speed he gets up to. See if he's hitting 212 or 215. 213. I think that's potentially not as quick as it could be through the chicane now. Tricky little chicane that, bumpy on the exit as well. Second DRS zone, wing wide open, and then into probably the most difficult corners on the track, the triple apex chicane. Tricky little braking zone, uphill in through the first one, bumpy second one, downhill for the third one. A little off camber, sends the rear end out a little bit. Tricky left-hand corner next to the yachts, and now we're into another high-speed section leading into the braking zone just before the hotel. No troubles of locking up quite nicely through there. Short blast of the power underneath the Etihad sign, and then only 2 more corners to go. It's been looking like quite a nice lap, a 17.9 and a 41.2. They are 2 very good sectors. This is going to be pole position to begin with. May stay pole position as well through the final corner. Maybe lost a half a tenth there, but it's a 1:38.7. Fantastic lap from him.
Konzo started his lap.
So Konzo, is Konzo on the ultra soft tyre, or is he on the super soft?
Ultras.
Okay, keep an eye on him. I'm just having a quick look at SBL Mali Kekec, because he's on the super soft tyre, just getting ready to start his flying lap. And TempFear, would you like to take us through SBL Mali Kekec's pre-race comments and then the remainder of his lap?
We find his comments, leaves it burden. Here he is. So, he's doing what I did last night, is bring in the harder set tyres. And we asked him last race of the season, how would you describe your first season in FRR? And he replied with bad, because people say I brag a lot and I'm just getting my psychological advantage. Anyways, I'm a future champ. Well, I agree with what he said there. That is very confident. Anyway, into the hairpin for him, he did 17.9 in sector 1 on the super soft, so I think that might be purple. Putting the power down out now, out the hairpin, down the longest straight on this track. DRS wide open. He's got all the time in the world to think about his braking point, and it's still the hardest thing to do. I'm guessing around the 100 metre board, maybe even just after there. Clipped the apex quite nicely, although he didn't carry a lot of speed through there. Didn't short shift like Curly Whirly out the chicane there. Stuck in the DRS straight, DRS open. And he'll be looking for about the 100 metre board here. And he depends, we'll see if he tries to use all the track or not. He did run a little wide there, but not as much as some. 41.6 middle sector. I think that's slightly slower than what Curly did. It was by about 4/10, so he's got a lot to do in this final sector. Coming up towards the double right-hander. Is he going to brake just after the second kink or a bit after? Quite a bit after. Slipped the third apex there under the hotel. I hate these corners, so I'm glad you didn't see me through here last night. 2 more corners to go. Is he going to gain that 4/10? Yes, no. Nice amount of apex there. It's all going to good actually. Around the final corner, short shift in there, and across the line for 39.2 with 39.6 final sector. So he was still slower than his teammate in the final sector.
It was a very aggressive lap from him, turning in very early for the corners, but it's worked for him so far. Millstar's got himself into third place. That may still be on his ultra soft tyre. Kenai Anders on an outlap at the moment on the super soft tyre, and he's shown quite a bit of pace in the reserve races, to be honest, especially in the no assist side. It'll be interesting to see how he gets on with the super soft tyre. Tony, any update on our two title contenders?
Well, Gonzo was doing fast 2 sectors, but backed out of it in last sector, so he got 13th place at the moment. He's still on track, but I don't think he's gonna put some fast lap times with Ultrasofts. And Hindle is still on track. Well, he changed to Super Softs. So he's in outlap right now.
Okay, I think he's, I mean, they're both going to have to go for the super softs, I believe, but Kenai Ender has started his flying lap down into the end of sector 1, an 18.0 on the super soft tyre. It's a good sector time there. Let's see how he gets on through the hairpin. And as you said, Temp, the 2 straights is a long time to think about your braking point, but it is ever so easy to get the braking point wrong, isn't it? Especially if during the race you've got DRS, slipstream and your engine turned up.
Yeah, it was during the qualifying race actually yesterday. Curly mentioned to me, "Do I want a slipstream?" And I said no, for the simple fact that it would give me a bit of a pain trying to get it. It doesn't always work. And it was that fact that you go into it with how much more speed that you don't normally have, and you just try and break at the same point, and you won't make the apex.
That is very true. Very true.
And especially those 2 sausage curves. They're interesting to say the least.
Yeah, those sausages are very firm. Not the kind of ones you really want to get your teeth into. Okay, so Kenai Andrews done a 41.7 sector 2 time. It's a 10th slower than SBL Mali Kekech was. He's down a little bit on sector 1 as well. But if you can have a much nicer sector 3, you may be able to gain here. It has been a little smoother than SBL Mali Kekech, that's for sure. 2 more corners to go. Come on, Kenai Andrews, what have you got in store? Can you get yourself onto the front row of the grid for the first time this season? Quite a nice final corner. Go on, crosses the line, and it's third place. So Konzo, he's in the pits at the moment. It looks like Lord Jason is on a flying lap at the moment. But where is Hindle? Hindle is on his first flying lap on his super soft tyre, and he's done an 18.0. So we're going to have to keep an eye out for when Konzo comes out as well. But I think Hindle's given himself plenty of time here to do an extra lap if he needs it. So let's see what Hindle's straight line speed is going to be, what his sector 2 time's going to be. We saw Curly Whirly hitting 213 mile an hour. So is Hindle going to be quicker? Exactly the same, 213 miles an hour. Anyone would think they've been practicing together through the chicane quite nicely. Carried the throttle through there beautifully, and he's going to open the DRS wing once again, and it's a short blast now to the end of sector 2, and we're looking anywhere between 41.2 and 41.6. It's a 41.4. It's right in the middle of 41.2 and 41.6. So all about this final sector. At the moment, Hindle's potentially on course for putting himself into second place. And that's exactly what he needs to do. Put the pressure onto his teammate Konzo. And now only a few more corners to go. Taking plenty of curb there, quite nicely done into the double left-hander that TempFear doesn't like, and I can fully understand why. They're 2 surprisingly difficult corners, and now only 2 right-handers left to go. Taking a little bit of apex curb, that's in the rear end, a little bit sideways, 1 corner to go. Plants that throttle, forcing it to the line. It's a 39.2, it's second place.
And only just 4 thousandths quicker than SBL Mali Kekech.
Okay, Konzo is on his out lap. Who else do we have out there at the moment on a fly-in lap?
Just before you mentioned anyone, SBL Mali Kekech is out on an out lap on himself, so that's surprising.
An out lap on a set of ultras. Maybe he's decided he's going to go all out for pole position. Okay, Millstar starting his flying lap. Tony, give me a shout when Konzo's about to start his flying lap. Temp, keep an eye on whether Hindle has decided to push on for a second flyer, because Millstar was showing decent pace on the ultra softs earlier on. So let's see if he's going to be able to carry that over. It's an 18.3 sector 1. Not ideal, but not shabby either.
Hindle hasn't carried on from the lap we've got a 4-star lap on a set of super softs. That's going to get kept going very slowly. I mean, that lap.
Yeah, also starting the last sector for his outlap, so pretty soon he's starting his final lap.
Okay, I'm going to jump on board with Konzo then. I've just jumped away from Millstar there. I waited to see what his straight line speed was going to be, and he's got up to about 215 miles an hour, so he is running a very skinny wing on his car. Now, Konzo taking this outlap very, very cautiously. Maybe he's just trying to cool his tyres down, give himself plenty of space in front of him to go for this lap. So here we go then, Konzo. What have you got? This is going to be your only lap, and if he doesn't get it in, he's going to be starting in 15th place. Talk about pressure on his shoulders. Down into turn 1 then, hard on the brakes, miles away from the apex there, unfortunately. That's going to compromise him a little bit. Nicely through turn 2. Committed through turn 3, carrying so much more throttle than Curly Whirly was. What's the sector time? It's an 18.0, so even though he missed turn 1 apex by a mile, is still quick. Into the hairpin then. Awful, tricky little corner. Get that throttle picked up as early as you can and plant it all the way to the floor. DRS wide open. What is Konzo's straight line speed going to be? Is it faster than his teammates? Is it slower than his teammates? He's a little bit quicker. I think he's a little bit quicker. He may have only got to 213, but he seemed to get there quicker. Through the chicane, slightly different line, short shifting. Carries the speed quite nicely. Second DRS, wide open now. Taking a tight line down the straight. Trying to maximise shortening the circuit. Hard on the brakes now through the flip-flap. It's a 41.5. This puts him slightly behind his teammate. So it's all about this final sector. Gain 2 tenths, you start ahead of your teammate. Lose a tenth, you start behind him. The battle could be on. See how he gets on with the tight right before the hotel. And now I've been kicked out of the commentary box, so let's get back on board with Konzo. 2 more corners to go. What have you got, Konzo? Can you get yourself up onto the second row of the grid or better? 1 corner to go. Across the line he goes from 17th to 4th. I think that may be just ahead of his teammate.
I'm gonna just at 17.8 and first at Ronnie Book stops. Having had a look at the second time. Just coming into the final 2 corners any moment now.
Yep, so
41.2 in the middle.
41.2, so phenomenal sector 2 time, and he's abandoned the lap, and I don't blame him on that. He does not want to start on the ultra soft tyre, and that is pretty much it. Qualifying session coming to an end. We'll have a confirmation of the qualifying order, and obviously we do still want to get through as many of the drivers' pre-race comments as we can if we're able to through the race, and any that we can't we'll get through at the end of the session. At the end of the race. So, an interesting qualifying session there. We believe Curly Whirly is still on pole position. So what did Curly Whirly have to say in his pre-race comments?
Curly Whirly, let me find you. Where are you?
He's on pole.
I know he's on pole. You and your sarky comments. See, now I can't find him now who said this. Hang on. I've got him. Flipping out, he sent an essay.
And I'm going to cut you off in a moment as well.
Yeah, I know. He's bringing a harder set of tyres, and we asked him, we saw massive pace differences from you in the reserve races here, going from no assist to assist. What gave the better pace for the assist, and is the one on the cards? He replied with, last night's race was frustrating. I had the controller problem during the race and no vibration feedback from earlier in the race. I think I fixed the problem, so I should be able to be on the pace now. Better pace in the series is down to the racing line. I'm still learning how to drive it out here. Manny and I have a great chance of in third in the constructors, and if Manny don't score any points, possibly tied for second. All eyes tonight around the Mercs. Hopefully I'm watching them in my rooms. I'll also add thanks everyone for putting on a great show, and I'm looking forward to racing next season. Oh, and yes, I'm looking forward to win tonight. And there you go.
He is on pole.
He's on pole.
Yep, so confirmation of the qualifying order then. Curly Wurly on pole position. Hindle did manage to take second place. SBL Malikekech in third with Konzo in fourth. K-Nyanda fifth. Kauzo in sixth. Then we've got Gonk on the Ultrasofts in seventh. Rickster eighth. Lefty Hardtail ninth. Millstar 10th. And then we've got Garfield, RDB, Farfbird, Jason, Davey Harp from a Racing GP, Lord JB, and then Yuzi rounds out the grid. Well, an interesting qualifying session there, and for Konzo, a lot of pressure on his shoulders now because he needs to finish third or higher with Hindle out of the points effectively, and Hindle is qualified on the front row of the grid, so it makes for a difficult scenario for Konzo effectively. But we are going to get ready to start the formation lap in a few moments. Race strategy for those guys on the super soft tyre. Couple of options that they could do: super soft, super soft, soft, super soft, soft, super soft, or even maybe a super soft, soft, ultra soft at the end. They could also go for the one-stop strategy, but that means taking the super soft tyre to around about lap 12, lap 13, and then trying 15, 16 laps on the soft compound tyre. So 10 seconds to go then until the formation lap gets underway. There are umbrellas on the grid, but there's no rain going to be falling, which is going to have upset ARAZOR massively. But in a moment I will...
Not.
Or not, but in a moment I will jump out of the lobby to rejoin to catch the start of the racing. TempFear, if you would like to have a quick look through perhaps some of the driver comments and see if there's any that you want to pick on when I do rejoin. Because if you start talking while I've got a blue screen on, nobody's going to be able to hear you. But we are getting ready then for the 28 lap race that's going to end the World Series season. There's plenty of possibilities of what could happen here. We could have a mass collision at turn 1. We've seen that in Brazil. There was actually, I think, 2 separate collisions in Brazil that affected a number of drivers' races. We could have similar happen here today, which would throw everything up in the air as to what the outcomes would be. But having said that, if everybody gets through turn 1 and then gets through the sector 1 all nice and clean, we've got one hell of a battle on our hands, that's for sure. Okay, I have rejoined. So, Temp, have you got anyone's pre-race comments that you would like to pick on?
I was going to do front racing GP, but then I realised his teammate's Kauzo, one of the title contenders' brothers. So I think it's fitting we do him at the start of the race. So we asked him, your brother's in a title fight, do you think he can do it? Do you think he could have been up there had you been racing from round 1? We replied, don't know what tyres to bring here, as there are multiple strategies around Abu Dhabi. It is possible for Con to do it, however, reports from the last race rather skilled fight in my opinion, because it's a 12-point gap and a lot harder. He needs people to get in the way of Brian, who is Hindle. I think it is too far from his reach, unfortunately, but I'm just hunting for a podium because it's been too long. I also think a lot more people could be in title fight, as the WSR has been a success bringing in new quick drivers, and if they were in the league, and yes, I think I could have had a chance. But yeah, I think Konzo is hoping for SBL Malikekech to take out Hindle at turn 1 and make his life a lot easier.
Quite possibly. I mean, Kauzo mentioned there as well that the WSR, the World Series Reserves, has been a bit of a success, and I mean, I would say that yes, it has. I mean, Kauzo is one of the drivers that has come through the WSR system, as is Curly Wurly, who's sitting on pole position, SBL Malikekech, Valdemar. There's a number of drivers that have come through the World Series Reserves and found themselves on the grid in the World Series, and same for the World Championship. So the reserve system has worked very well this season, but we are now getting ready for the start of this race as the drivers line up on the grid.
And I want to mention that our Mercedes drivers are in separate parties with separate engineers, so interesting to see their battles as well.
Interesting information there. Okay, the lights are on. 4 lights, 5 lights. The lights are going to go out. The drivers are going to head down towards turn 1 from a Racing World Series. Round 21 from Abu Dhabi is underway, and it's a good start from Curly Wurly. It's an even better start from Konzo. Has he managed to sneak up the inside of that Renault? Yes, he has. The Renault runs wide. No, it's lag. That's lag from SBL Malikekech. That's a problem then for Konzo.
We'll be back to turn 3.
And you know, Well, you know what? The lag from that Renault is not only a problem for Konzo, it's a problem for Hindle as well, because he's managed to get ahead of Hindle, which means that Hindle has now got a car ahead of him that is lagging a little bit too much. And as TempFear mentioned, there has been a collision further down the grid, but most of the drivers look like they've got into sector 2 quite nicely. Renault's leading Mercs, and Konzo already having a look, not quite able to make it happen. But K9 Ander, he's trying to make moves on Rickster, side by side. Oh, Rickster gets on the sausage curb, nearly loses the car completely. It's absolutely frantic further back, you know, from a Racing GP. He's on the soft compound tyre, surrounded by super soft tyre runners. This is such a close battle. Look at all these cars going through the triple chicane. We've got a Force India lagging around as well. I think that might be Farf, but that's going to be, no, it could be RDB. That's going to be difficult for the McLaren driver behind him.
Jason made a little bit of contact over at Racing GP. Raises a shit in a tier.
Okay, coming towards the end of lap 1 then, we've still got both Renaults leading both Mercs, and not only that, we've got Konzo who's in 4th place. He's got his little brother Calzo in the McLaren behind him in 5th place, and I'm sure Konzo will be shouting, "Don't you dare, don't you dare, if you want a dead leg, don't you dare." But at the same time, though, Konzo's got to think about this. It's a long race ahead. If Calzo behind him is looking a little bit quicker, don't defend him. Let him go and attack Hindle.
Well, Konzo might be attacking him though. Yeah, he's going right. Hindle went right for turn 3, so he's closing right in. But might be a Mario Kart situation. His brother's a red shell. Let's go get him.
Oh, Hindle's not had the best of exits out of the hairpin there. Konzo's got an opportunity here. He's right up his gearbox. No DRS available yet, which means if Konzo can make this move into this first chicane, he's going to be able to defend it quite nicely into the second one, as long as he gets a good exit. Side by side they go then. Is Konzo going to be able to make the move? Yes, Hindle doesn't fight it. Goes for aiming for a better exit of the chicane. That's Konzo up to 3rd place. Konzo's doing what he needs to do. Problem is, he needs Hindle to lose another 6 places.
We've got a massive battle from 8th downwards. Gonk, Rickster, Garfield, RDB and a Toro Rosso, which is Millstar, all involved. All on different tyres as well. Some on super soft, one on soft. So.
Sorry, Force India lagging again. Looked like he was heading off into the barrier.
Yeah, it's a bit crazy down here, and there's even an ultra soft runner in there.
Well, Garfield's a bit of a cork in the bottle, isn't he? Being on the soft compound tyre. The drivers behind him, Rickster's on super softs, Gonk's on the ultra softs. So yeah, a lot of drivers behind him on the faster compound tyre. But Garfield quick enough where he needs to be to keep these guys behind him. But he's going to have to get a shift on, because if he gets caught by one driver, he could get caught by more. Red Bull into the pits. Is that for a drive-through penalty?
But Rickster was actually leading that pack, but Garfield did overtake him. Donk's always lost out there. He's starting the top 10 and dropped right down. Rickster has gone for a pit stop.
Oh, it's pit stop for Rickster. Maybe he's got a little bit of damage. Okay, having a look at the Renaults as well. It looks like SBL Malikekech is catching up to Curly Whirly. Konzo hasn't been able to break away from Hindle yet, which means Hindle will have DRS available on this occasion. Quick look at SBL Malikekech, who still appears to be lagging about a little bit. It doesn't seem to be close enough to Curly Whirly to make any kind of move. Quick look back at Konzo. Is Hindle going to be attacking? I can't imagine Hindle attacking into this first chicane, but I can imagine him trying to attack into the second one. SBL Malikekech definitely not close enough to attack. Hindle a little too far back to attack as well. Calzo make them under a little bit of pressure from K9 Ander, but no, they're all going to hold station at the moment. Tony, I've not come to you yet. What have you been keeping an eye on? What information do you have for us?
Well, I have been watching these two Mercedes drivers battling, so...
SBL Malikekech is out of the race!
So, to which one of the Mercedes drivers this will benefit the most without Malikekech being in here anymore?
Well, you know what? It benefits Hindle. Unless Hindle has a problem, then it'll benefit Calzo. It looks like it's a disconnection for SBL Malikekech, and seeing the lag that he was having, it's not a surprise. But that will have boosted the confidence of Hindle massively. It'll have boosted the confidence of Konzo as well, but Konzo needs Hindle to have problems. I mean, it's one of those situations, isn't it, Tony, where really all Konzo can do is beat Hindle. If he finishes ahead of him, at least he can say, look, I gave it my all, the rest is out of his hands.
Yeah, that is true. I think you shouldn't be focusing what should happen to Hindle. You just need to focus on your own race, do your best, and after the race, think everything else.
Yeah, and that's possible that Hindle may have a run. No, I think Konzo's straight line speed, I mentioned that Konzo's straight line speed was a tiny bit higher than Hindle's, and I think that is helping him basically just stay miles ahead of Hindle in these DRS zones, unless it's a case for Hindle where he's just thinking, you know what, I don't need to attack him at all, I just need to make sure I don't get attacked. So what have we got? What have we got, Temp, going on further down the grid?
Razor's best friend again, Jason, just had a spin. That was off Lord JB and halfway. It was bounced with 3 wides, and you know he's kind of gone on the inside and a little collision on the rear. And Lord JB just taken far down a second DRS straight.
Okay.
Other than that, it's pretty spread out.
Okay, well, what isn't spread out is the fact that K9 is all over the back of Calzo at the moment. Battle for 4th place. Oh, he's right up his gearbox into the final 2 corners. And for Calzo, having this pressure applied to him is making him drop off from the back of Hindle a little bit. Hindle is still within touching distance of his teammate, but I think K9 is going to be trying to make moves very, very soon. Anybody that's on the ultra soft tyre, I would expect to be pitting any moment now and switching to potentially a set of super softs or softs. Doubt they'll go for another set of ultras, but you never know what drivers are going to do until they do it. So K9 well, you could try wets. Oh, Calzo's feeling the pressure. He's just ran a little bit wide. This is going to give K9 a fantastic opportunity. He's so close to the back of his car. Yeah, this is going to be like taking candy from a baby. He may find out that that's actually probably not that easy to do because Calzo has also got DRS. Oh, Force India in the background getting a little bit sideways. And I think that Force India just lost the position to a McLaren, just as this McLaren is about to lose the position to the Williams, as they're side by side through the chicane. And K9 makes the move, but has he just given DRS to Calzo? He may have done. I'm just going to have to hand over to my commentary team so I can cough in silence.
GP, Calzo's teammate is making moves, took 2 places in one straight. RDP and Gonk were overtaken by GP there.
Interestingly as well, he's on the soft compound tyre, the hardest of the tyres. So if he's making moves on drivers that are on the super soft tyre and the ultra soft tyre, could suggest that it's the crossover point on the speed of the tyres is coming into play now massively.
Yeah, I'm surprised Gonk hasn't fitted yet on those ultra softs. I'd have been in at the end of the last lap at the latest.
Yep, that is true. But it is possible that with the with traction control or ABS, he's been able to get a little bit of extra life out of the tyres. But yeah, I mean, he's done quite well. I would expect him in now. Having another look though at Calzo and K9. K9 got ever so close to the wall in the third to last corner. So Calzo is close enough for a potential attack back. Hindle ever so close to the back of Konzo. Which I think Hindle may have just turned the wick up a little bit and decided, right, you know what, you've been ahead of me for 5 laps, lap 6 I'm coming past you, because he's definitely within range to attack. But this is where Hindle's straight line speed has been of a massive benefit to him. See, Hindle DRS is open. Let's see what straight line speed. I mean, look, Konzo has already gone. He's out of attacking range. I mean, Hindle's hitting 211 miles an hour, and I think Konzo's hitting higher than that without DRS.
Yeah, it's been they are pretty close in corners and everything, but when the big straights come up, Konzo just pulls away and then Hindle catches back with DRS. So that's been the whole story of those two so far in this race.
Okay, another part of the story as well is, I mentioned about GP being on the soft compound tyre. Garfield, just ahead of him in 7th place, is also on the soft compound tyre, and he's only 16.5 seconds off the leaders, which means when the leaders pit any time in the next 6 laps, they're going to come out behind Garfield unless they can open up that gap to about 19-20 seconds. So Garfield and Front Row Racing GP are two guys to keep an eye on, and because of their tyre choices, Front Row Racing GP does seem to have RDB right behind him. Gonk, though, he's still going on his ultra soft tyres. He's going to have to stop soon. He's actually side by side. He's just been passed by Yuzi on the soft compound tyre. I think, Gonk, it's time for you to get rid of those tyres, mate, because they don't like driving anymore. And yet into the pits he goes. Farfber, he's going to gain a place. He's been battling with Lord JB, both of these guys on the soft compound tyre, still fighting nice and closely. Jason, he's in a bit of a battle with Rickster ahead of him. Rickster's already pitted, and Milstar behind him. I'm not sure what happened to Milstar. Maybe it's just been a pit stop for him, because I think he qualified quite well. I could be wrong. My apologies if I am wrong on that. And where is Dave the Harp? He is 17th at the moment, running on the soft compound tyre. So guys, what have we got? What news do we have?
I haven't got any news, but I've been watching this Kenny and the Calzo fight, and it just shows how much they've dropped off the bat. I mean, you look at Calzo, looking like he could have gone past the two Mercedes at one point. Now stuck behind Kane, it seems to be holding him up. So it kind of shows Kane's got more straight line speed than Calzo, but Calzo's a bit all over him in the corners, as he is right now, actually.
Yep. One of the advantages as well, I mean, if you're following someone, you've obviously got the advantage of being able to benefit from the slipstream, turning your engine down a mode or two to save a little bit of fuel or look after the tyres a little bit, and then being able to push that a little bit harder when you do turn the engine up. But I mean, we're at lap 7 now, so anyone 2 stopping will be pitting within the next 2-3 laps. Anybody 1 stopping is going to continue on. And I'm wondering if Hindle or Konzo, I've got a feeling that Hindle is going to go for a 2-stop strategy temp, because we know from previous races tyre wear and punctures has been a concern for him, and one thing he does not want to do is throw away the championship on a puncture. Oh, Kane Ianda a little bit slow through turn 1, Calzo all over the back of him.
Yeah, he is going through turn 3, and I'll quickly mention what he's done about the Hindle. The only thing is that there's a few drivers that I would reckon are trying a 1-stop. So if he does go on a 2-stop, he's going to have to do quite a bit of overtaking. He's got the pace, but he doesn't see on the straight line speed. As Calzo, I think, may have just tapped the rear of Kane Leander there through the hairpin. But this is the same scenario as the last 3 laps. He's about this distance behind with the RS, and he just doesn't close enough.
Yeah, one of the tricky things with it as well, always definitely gaining. I mean, it's one of those things, you don't really want to overtake into the chicane, you want to overtake on the next straight, but the speed you get down that straight all depends on the exit you have out of the hairpin. Or Calzo, yeah, he's got it here. He's going to have a look to the inside, may have to switch to the outside if Kane Ianda defends it, which he is doing, so switches to the outside, and it is the outside that you're better off attacking on, but he's not able to get up alongside. Does a little switch back, oh, and he backed out of it. You know what, Kane Ianda just about gave him enough room there. He could have gone for it, but fair play to him, he decided not to.
Yeah, Kane clipped that inside sausage curve, which really off his car for the second right-hand.
Well, while these guys are fighting it out, Lefty Hardtail is just closing in on them. Hand over fist, he's gaining seconds on them.
I mean, yeah, what time is it? He's on the super stop as well, so he's Garfield in the pits.
Oh, Kane Ianda into the pits.
No, yeah, Kane, sorry. Garfield. He wasn't the front one race, that's why.
Well, you mentioned Garfield. I'm going to jump on board with Garfield. He's running the...
Curly's in the pits as well.
Okay, race leader into the pits. That's why the gap between Garfield and the race leader has come down then. So where is Curly Whirly going to come out of the pits? There he is. He's in the pit lane. There's Garfield. Curly Whirly may stay ahead. Yes, he has, quite comfortably. But for Hindle and Konzo, Garfield could be a problem.
Yeah, I mean, that puts Curly on a 2-stop as well. So this is where now, like I say, if Hindle wasn't going to do the 2-stop, it's now, he's almost guaranteed to be out behind Curly. But if his teammate stays out with a 1-stop, that becomes a problem.
Yeah, well, Kane Ianda is about to try and make a move on Yuzi here. Kane Ianda's just come out of the pits. DRS open right up the gearbox of that Manor. And Yuzi taking a nice straight line. Still got, I tell you, there's a 5-car battle going on in the background as well as Kane Ianda makes the move on the inside. Fresher tyres benefiting him massively there. So that's Kane Ianda making moves. Konzo now leading this race. When does he pit? I think he's got to make that decision to pit ahead of his teammate and get an overcut on your teammate. And make Hindle do that extra lap, and then hope that Konzo can come out ahead of Garfield and Hindle comes out behind him.
See, I'm going the other way. Hindle's in the pits. To me, Konzo's got to do a one-stop.
You reckon?
As winning the race and trying to get enough cars in between him. I mean, at the moment, they've got Curly Way between them if he can stay out and keep ahead of Curly. It's not enough.
Hindle with the soft tyres in the pits.
Yeah, pit lane very busy as well. I think Calzo and Lefty Hardtail are also into the pits. So where is Hindle going to come out then? Is he going to be ahead of Garfield? Is he going to be behind Garfield? I think you might be right there, Temp, that Konzo's got no choice other than to try and go for the one-stop strategy perhaps. I tell you what, Hindle's behind a McLaren. Hindle's behind Front Row Racing GP. So Hindle has got 2 cars on soft compound tyres ahead of him to try and make moves on. Which means, well, Calzo's pitted as well, but this means that if Konzo pitted, he would effectively be just ahead of Front Row Racing GP, who is just ahead of Hindle. So yeah, I think Konzo's potentially got to keep going. Hindle now trying to catch up to Front Row Racing GP, but you know what, GP's pulling away, even though Hindle had slipstream and DRS there, through the flip-flap chicane as I like to call them. Hindle's had a better speed through the corner though. He may have an opportunity here with the DRS wide open once again, but that McLaren's got fantastic straight line speed. It's pulling away from him.
Sure they got a Mercedes engine in there?
It definitely ain't a Honda.
I'm feeling like Konzo's coming.
Oh, Hindle's he's gone aggressive, trying to make the moves, trying to get GP out of shape. It hasn't quite worked. Sorry, Tony, I cut you off there. Go on.
Yeah, I was saying that I'm feeling that Konzo is coming to the pits now, but not. He's not coming. So, like, if you're Konzo, do you want to risk with strategy and try to outrace Hindle, or do you want to do like a Hail Mary thing with strategy? And yeah, that could help you, that could ruin your race.
Well, this is definitely affecting Hindle's race. He's being held up, and not only is he being held up, he's got Kane Ianda catching him up as well. I mean, some people may say, well, GP's on a different strategy, he should get out of the way. Oh, I think he nearly lost the rear end of the car there. Now he should get out of the way, and Hindle's helped him along with that one. I think Kane Ianda is going to potentially try and make moves yet. Tries to capitalise straight away on that one. And in the background, Calzo making moves on a ghosted Renault. That's SBL Mali Catcher's car, and he's obviously no longer in this race. We've still got Manners line astern now after Lefty Hardtail has made his stop. Yuzi though, I don't believe he's stopped yet. So yeah, all still very interesting. Is Curly Whirly far from Konzo? About 8 seconds away. So what an interesting race we've got going on at the moment then, guys.
Yeah. Tony, I want to ask you a question. I don't know if you know the answer. Do you know if Konzo's in a chat fight with his brother?
I don't know anything about that, but I know that they are in a different chat parties with Mercedes, like and they both have their own engineer, I believe. So yeah. Because
I've just been looking at the lap times. I've been looking at the lap times between the two of them, and Hindle's getting held up so much from GP. He lost 1.8 seconds to Calzo just on the last lap in 1 sector. So. I mean, Konzo's going to come out ahead of him by a significant margin.
Konzo in the pits
now. Konzo's in the pits now.
He is. Well, I mean, I mentioned about from a racing GP not getting out of the way for Hindle, but one of the reasons I mentioned it is not because of the battle that Hindle and Konzo are having, it's the battle that GP's teammate is having, because anything that Hindle gets held up by benefits his own teammate. So Konzo then coming under the racetrack now. There we see the Williams and the McLaren of Kane Ianda and from a racing GP, and Hindle is ahead. Hindle's ahead of Konzo. Ooh, so even though Hindle was held up, Konzo's in-laps were not quick enough to stay ahead. That's the difficulty of going long on the tyres. But is Konzo on the one-stop strategy? If he is, and Hindle isn't, Hindle's got another stop to make. All Konzo's got to do now is stay close to the back of Hindle until Hindle pits.
Close.
Yeah.
He might overtake him in the straight line speed he can show him. But I really do hope Konzo's on a one-stop. That's a long way. 17 laps on those tyres is going to be tough. But I really do hope he can do it.
A little bit more spice to the mix here. Hindle has now 3-second penalty.
Ooh.
See, that's something else I was going to look at, because I was on board with him and I did see him getting quite frustrated behind GP, taking quite a lot of curve. So, yeah, I wasn't having a look at that, but that's interesting to know. Is anyone else got any penalties over yet?
I think there was, but not any significant, like anything to mention. Yeah, like.
So, yeah, if Calzo and Kenny Ander can stay close to Hindle, might find himself dropping down a bit more.
He definitely could. Okay, Garfield, he's made a pit stop. He started on the soft compound tyre. Temp, if you can have a quick look at what tyres he's jumped onto and have a quick look, see if we've got any battles kicking off elsewhere. Obviously got 2 battles going on here for 2nd and 3rd and 4th and 5th as Calzo getting ever so close. Go on, what you got?
Garfield's up the inside of Lord JB in the second last corner. He's on the super soft tyres.
Holy cow!
We've got RDB, Middlestar and Guy Grosser behind us now. That's quite a scary view actually from the rear wing there. Don't look at the inside of Middlestar. Oh, we've got the... How Middlestar's gone wide. How there wasn't a bigger crash there, I'll never know. But yeah, that was quite scary actually.
Well, there was a reason I reacted the way I did. I changed camera and all I saw was 5 cars all trying to take one spot.
Konzo overtook Hindle in the DRS straight, but Hindle is fighting back.
Oh! Hindle got too much on the sausage curb, and the problem with doing that is exactly what he just suffered with. The car gets thrown up in the air, goes sideways. Calzo's making a move. Calzo side by side with Kane Ianda. They saw him try and do this earlier on and it didn't work. Is he going to go all the way around the outside? No, Kane goes deep, gives a little bit of a contact to Calzo there.
No Kobayashi kiss.
Excuse me, RDB, his race is over. Lefty Hardtail, his race is over.
People are dropping like flies here. 3 disconnection, 4. Oh no.
Oh, that's a problem. That's a problem.
We have lost 4 drivers.
Okay.
And Hindle was one of them.
That is a problem. I knew we would have problems today. Right. We'll keep going for a moment, guys. Let's see what we got coming out of that one. I mean, Tony, have a quick look at the race director to see if there was any collisions involved in those, or whether it is just straight out disconnections.
Look like mass disconnection, like 4 drivers, instantly drop off. So.
That is a very difficult situation we find ourselves in now, because Calzo contact with Kane Ianda, because making any kind of decision to red flag this race now for disconnections. Some people will complain, some people won't. It's not an easy decision to make, and it's not one that can come lightly.
Yeah, the thing is, like, if you decide whether or not, either side, people are going to complain because there is a penalty, there is a tie, where different strategies, and is it 25 or 50% or whatever, people are in different positions, so yeah, hard to find a right solution here.
It definitely is difficult to find the right solution. The only thing I can say at the moment is the race kind of has to continue on for the moment. TempFear, I'm going to make you think about this one as quickly as you can. I mean, you're going to be the new Formula Racing World Series admin, and these are the kind of decisions you're going to have to try and make. And I mean, I'm kind of in the mindset at the moment that the race kind of has to continue on. I mean, unfortunately, disconnections do happen, and it is strange that 3 have happened sort of all at the same time there.
Yeah, I had it last night, and I was fuming. I was the only one who had the issue, but it's, like I said, it's horrible. It's a championship fight. It's the last round of the season. No matter what we do, we have an effect, and we're slap bang on the halfway stage.
Okay, I'm just having a quick look at Rickster and Garfield, who are having a bit of a battle here on different compounds of tyres. Rickster on the soft tyre, Garfield on the super softs now. And I mean, this is one of probably the most difficult scenarios an admin can have, because I mean, if you're Konzo, you're sat there saying, "Don't you dare stop this race! Don't you dare stop this race!" Although he may be sat there going, "No, you probably should stop the race." We don't know, but if you're Hindle, you're probably sat there going, "That should be stopped, that should be stopped." And that's one of the reasons why it's such a difficult scenario to try and make any kind of decision on. Let's see though, lap 15 we're on now. Curly Wurly still leading this race. He's got a 15-second gap to Konzo, who now obviously is the whole scenario of the championship has changed massively for him. Kane Ianda still fighting with Calzo, 3rd and 4th place. They're about 5 seconds off Konzo at the moment. So is Calzo going to be able to make any kind of move? He's looking aggressive enough to try and do so. But what do we do there? What does he do there? I'm not sure. He's going to have a look into turn 1. No, he's not. So, TempFear, ARAZOR, any news? Do you have any news for us?
Yeah, we're screwed. No.
Well, yeah, well, we have a massive chat in the YouTube comments. People are saying championship shouldn't decide on disconnections, but it's interesting.
See, I have that same mindset, but it's like I said, either way you're penalising someone effectively.
Yeah. Calzo,
well,
sorry, just going to cut you off a second. Calzo making the move here on Kane Ianda. Not quite being able to make it though. Went a bit deep, a little contact between the two, and Calzo burning up his rear tyres once again. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, well, I don't know if this would be any good solution, but if we could restart and do the ones that disconnected do one extra pit stop, so they couldn't benefit so much for it. But I don't know if that's good or not, a hybrid solution or not. But
well, the thing is, the problem with that kind of thing though is there's nothing in the rules to compensate for that. You're basically making something up on the fly, and as far as the rules go, okay, there's mass disconnections and 3 people getting disconnected at the same time or at similar time, and I mean, some may see it as a mass disconnection, others may just see it as, okay, something's gone wrong, but it's not necessarily a mass disconnection. It is probably the most difficult situation and decision to make, which is why I'm not making any kind of call right now other than these drivers that are on the racetrack, they got to keep going.
Well, I have comments here on YouTube as well. It seems like there was only 2 disconnections and 1 driver left, but that's not official knowledge, so I don't know if that's right or not. In my screen it looked like there was 4 drivers going off at the same time, but I don't know if those
was an earlier driver that retired.
Yeah, that could be too. So if that's true, we only lost 2 drivers.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the difficulties of it. I'm just going to cut you off a second as Calzo's trying to attack Kane Ianda once again. But once again, he hasn't got the straight line speed to be able to do it. And to try and put things into perspective, which I'm going to do in a few moments' time, as Calzo still can't get past Kane Ianda. One of the biggest, I mean, let's say, for example, we said, right, okay, we're going to restart it, we'll sort it all out, as Calzo trying to go all the way around the outside. Can he make that work? Yes, he can. No, he can't, because Kane Ianda's still fighting back. Side by side they go through under the hotel, and Calzo's ahead. What a move. I think he was watching me from last night. Well done. Yeah, okay, right. I'm going to quickly throw this out. Right, okay. If we said right now, okay, let's restart this race, but we found out afterwards that there was no mass disconnection, there was a collision between two drivers, that's what ended their race, and it wasn't a mass disconnection, all of a sudden you've halted the race, affected the championship for no valid reason. So at this point, I'm going to say the race continues on. If drivers want to make comment about it afterwards, then they can do so. That's what the race directors, the whole system is there for. So, the situation now then, guys, is... I mean, the thing is, well, obviously, looking at it from our point of view as well, is you're obviously potentially going to have people sat there going, oh, well, you're only saying that because of who benefits. No, and as TempFear said, it doesn't matter what you do, potentially you're penalising somebody.
That's the thing. You've had these two drivers going. All the ones that are in here, though, they've had no issues. They've done nothing wrong. You can't. We've seen disconnection from Hindle this season. I'm only putting out Hindle because he's obviously the main focus here. We've seen it for other drivers as well. It'd be nice if you could message us to say what it was, but. If it's just two drivers, I would be, like I say, I'm with DP on this and I'd carry on.
Yeah, what is the official ruling in this? Like, is there anything else that it's admin's choice, or is there anything?
No. From what I remember with the rulebook, for restarts of sessions, it has to be mass disconnections, and mass disconnections is more than 2, it's more than 3, potentially even more than 4. I mean, mass is majority, which we've had before. Let's quickly check on Calzo and Kenayanda. Once again, Calzo's pulling away. Or if, say for example, all of us commentators were disconnected, but none of the drivers were, because basically you've got admins running it, doing all of the points and everything on it, and broadcasting it, and if the admins aren't in there, then there's no event, effectively. Okay, Gonk into the pits. Let's see, is Yuzi going to benefit from that? Yes, he is, and Yuzi's still in a battle with Rickster and Farthba, who's not too far away. Lord JB is still there as well. Okay, Temp, see if you can get any kind of information from off the racetrack. Tony, if you could have a quick look through the grid and let us know if we've got any battles going on out there other than Yuzi and Rickster, who are going side by side at the end of Sector 1, as Rickster chucks it up the inside on the Manor driver, and these guys slowing each other up is going to help the Force India driver behind them of Farthba, but Yuzi, he may get DRS here. He has. Yuzi, losing the position has actually benefited him. He's going to be able to make a move, whether he's going to want to, into this first chicane or not. Well, I was going to say, we don't know, but he does. He goes for it straight away. That's going to give Rickster the opportunity with DRS to attack back at him, which he's going to do straight away. I will admit as well that obviously nobody wants to see a championship decided in the way that it appears it may have been done, but Rickster, he doesn't care. He's going to try making a move on Yuzi here. Yuzi gives in the room, and Rickster gets through.
Kenayanda and Calzo into the pitch just right there.
So Kenayanda, Calzo making their second round of pit stops. 8 laps left for them, so that'll be for another set of the super soft tyre. Yes, it is for Calzo. What about for Kenayanda? Kenayanda, yep, it's a set of super soft tyres for him as well. Curly Whirly, I don't think he's made his second pit stop yet, has he? No, he's still continuing on, and he's got a little bit of a lead now. 16 seconds to Konzo, and Konzo is probably just cruising now.
Yeah, this is an interesting situation. Even if you win, do you feel like you won it, or you were just gifted the championship? Like, yeah, it's pretty sad to see these kind of things in the last race. Like, yeah, that is.
Things, well, I mean, obviously this kind of situation, it's not what we want to see, and obviously we all want to see the title fought out on track and all that kind of thing, but I mean, sometimes things can't be controlled. I mean, I'm just having a quick look at the YouTube chat as well, and I mean, we mentioned about there's always going to be two sides of the argument for whether you restart or not, and that is being shown on the YouTube chat now as well. And I mean, it's a horrible, difficult, tricky situation. And I mean, one of the reasons why I said it doesn't matter what happens now, we're going to carry on, is because let's say, for example, at the end of this race, it could be investigated and be shown, okay, right, there was mass disconnections, there was some major problem, that race result shouldn't happen. That's a whole different scenario, but you can't do that if you stop the race and then restart it. But anyway, what's the situation we've got now? TempFear, do you have any news for us? What situation do we have? What have we got now?
I mean, I've just put the sent a few messages out, and I'll wait for some replies. Conzo's going to attack fairly ready soon. Something I want to quickly say though is, let's say this is Australia, first race of the season. Would you call a restart on that? Probably not.
You know what? I'm glad you asked that question, because you say probably not. I'd say no, you wouldn't. 100% no, you wouldn't. You'd carry on.
It's yes, like I say, there's always everything I like the last race of the season, but there's everything I like the start of the first race of the season. Same amount of points get handed out. It just happens to be a lot worse that it happened now when there's two drivers still going at it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean...
It's difficult, but I mean, let's start focus on this, I think.
Well, you mentioned about Curly Wurly catching up and attacking Conzo. Curly Wurly has made his second pit stop. He's put the super soft tyre on. Conzo, he'll be fully aware, I believe, of what the situation is. I mean, let's put it this way, right? If Conzo felt that the championship should not be decided in this way, there'd be nothing to stop him from retiring his car. I'm not saying I'd do that, because you gifted the championship away, but I mean, this is there's so much to it, and yes, it's had a massive effect on this race. It really has, and it obviously. But I mean, what can you do? It doesn't matter what you do. You're gonna annoy You're gonna annoy people, no matter which way you do it. Go on, Tony. What you got?
Yeah. Well, I just reviewed the footage of the incident, if I could say. There were three drivers disconnecting, and one driver, RDP, joined back from the session. So we lost two drivers. RDP got disconnected as well, but he joined back and is driving now. So.
Justin Kelly overtake Conzo down that first air Australian. Conzo's not been able to make the pass back, but Conzo's 12 points behind his teammate here in the standings. If Conzo's going for a one-stop here, which it looks like he is, he's at risk of a puncture. If he gets a puncture, he might fall down to fourth, or even fifth. So it's still not actually as clear cut as we think.
No, you're right, it isn't. Calzo's still running third. Kane Ander's running fourth, and he's dropped off the back of Calzo now, about 5 seconds between them. From a racing GP, he's up to fifth now. He's about 9 seconds off the back of Kane Ander. Rickster, he's into sixth place, about another 8 seconds back. Let's see, where is Garfield? Quite a few seconds back, and he's in a bit of a battle with Farthborough right now. So Garfield, who started on the soft compound tyre, I think he's made 2 stops since then as well, is running currently in 7th place with Force India right behind him. And there's Gonk, and it looks like Gonk's gone to the ultra soft tyre. He started on the ultra softs, and he's going to end on the ultra softs as well. So let's see if he's going to be able to make any kind of moves. Yuzi also on the ultra soft tyre, and let's see, I think there's a bit of a gap. And Jason is a little bit ahead of Lord JB, who we haven't seen on camera much today, unfortunately. But from about lap 14, there's been a hell of a lot going on. So, yeah. Probably one of the weirdest races of the season. And you know what? At about 5 o'clock today, I sat there and I thought to myself, you know what? we've had a very good season and it's all been interesting, but you can guarantee tonight he's going to throw something at us that we've not had all season long, and that is potentially what has happened. So for the final race of the season, it's a major talking point, it's major drama, it's a major story basically.
You had a nice easy race for your last one though.
I was hoping for one, but it's obviously not been one. Farthber has just made a pit stop for a set of the ultra soft tyres, so he's now decided to see if he can pop in at some final flying laps. So guys, if you can kind of keep an eye on those around there. And TempFear, obviously we've got 4 laps to go, and there's not that many battles happening out on track at the moment, and obviously we've had major drama. Difficulty we know of for Konzo at the moment is he's got to get to the finish line in the position that he's in, or in the 3rd place, to have any chance of confirming the title. But if he is on the one stop, he's got to make sure these tyres last, and I don't think he can really afford to pit now and preempt a possible puncture.
He can afford to pit and come out in 3rd. Alzo, his brother, is too close behind him. He's only about 17 behind him. But Kane Leander's about 26 or something like that, so he doesn't lose too much more time. He does have a gap, but let's say he gets a puncture where he is right now, he'll probably come up behind Kane Leander.
Well, I mean,
if you were Konzo, would you play it safe and pit?
Well, what gap has he got to Calzo? 15
Calzo,
seconds, 17.
Yeah, not enough.
You know what? I'd be tempted. I would be tempted to go, you know what? If there's any concern, pit now, ultra soft tyre, and overtake Calzo. But I mean, I'm actually just looking at his rear right tyre, and I'm wondering if it's looking like it's wobbling a little bit, a bit unusually, or am I just seeing things or wanting to see things? I don't know.
I wonder what Konzo is thinking if he, and I think he watched the last F1 race with problems with the tires at the last few laps. So I would be tempted to pit any like just in case, but but if you pit now and you still get 3rd, and then you get penalties afterwards and you drop off, and I mean, do you want to risk it? So,
Konzo's about 3 seconds a lap slower than Curly right about now, and he's 2 seconds off his best lap time on those tyres, so they aren't exactly in any sort of good nick.
Well, I was going to mention that it does look like Konzo has turned the engine down, because he's losing a lot of time compared to Curly Wurly. I think he's gone for the option of, I'm going to take these tyres to the end, I've got a bit of a buffer to 3rd place, so I'm going to look after these tyres and just make sure I get to the end. Okay, what have we got out there happening at the moment? Kane Leander, what's the gap between himself and Front Row Racing GP? We can see it visually there, it's about the length of the first DRS straight, but I think Rickster may be... is Rickster catching up to Front Row Racing GP? I think you can see him at least, although it's a bit of a speck in the distance rather than sort of catching him and going to make any kind of move at the moment.
He is catching him, and quite considerably as well actually, almost 2 seconds a lap.
Now he's Front Row Racing GP on the one-stop strategy, and potentially his tyres going off, being caught by a guy on a 2-stop strategy.
Exactly that. How'd you know? Yeah, that could go right down to the wire. Gonk's on another set of stops. He must love those tyres. Still wanted to pretty much use them all race.
He is. Well, Farthber's on them as well, and he's trying to catch up to Yuzi. There's a bit of a gap between the two of those. But I mean, of the weird races we've had this season, this is probably definitely the most odd and the most difficult and the most deflating potentially for everybody involved, unless your name's Konzo.
Very true. Yeah, I was just on board a Rickster and GP there, looking at the speed to the final corner. Rickster's carrying about 5% mile an hour quicker through the apex, so definitely going to be closing in pretty quickly. Is it 3 laps enough for him to do it? Let's find out.
I don't know. Well, Rickster's lost a bit of time. Rickster's losing time to Curly Whirly. But Curly Whirly's obviously leading this race and is on fresher tyres, I think, than Rickster. So potential battle then between Rickster and GP. And these two are actually, From a Racing GP's in 5th at the moment, Rickster's in 6th. And in the driver's standings, From a Racing GP is 4th and Rickster is 5th. So I think for pride, Rickster will want to catch up to him. I was going to say... Temp, Rickster's pre-race comments, potentially, if you could. Or have we already done Rickster's?
No, I don't think we have. He was a racing of this season in America. Don't forget that race, of course. Let's have a look. Rickster, where are you? His teammates had a few good pre-race comments this season, not gonna lie. Rickster. So we asked him, a tough season for you this year, but still have a top 5 result. Can that be taken as a positive? And he replied with, sure, this season's been a tough one. With more quick drivers in the series than there ever has been, this is probably my toughest yet. That's why I'm very happy with the top 5 finish this season. I don't think I could have done much more this season, and done much better this season even, and I'm guessing that's ecstatic about that. As for the race, mathematically I think I could still drive GP, so again I'll be going all out. I hope this race is a good one, as due to work, this could potentially be my last race in the for a long time. Tears are already coming out. Just want to say thank you to all the admins and drivers for an amazing few years of epic driving in the past 7 seasons. I'll definitely be back in the future. Again, very emotional. Quite emotional to me. Oh,
yep. His car got a little emotional then as well, didn't it? As he got very sideways. Well, I think he's gaining on From a Racing GP more and more. Yeah, he's definitely getting closer and closer as we're getting very close to only 1 lap remaining. Curly Whirly is still leading this race and he's heading through the final sector now. So he's only a couple of corners away from starting the final lap of the race. Conzo, though, we've not been watching him for a little while. He's only got 1 lap and about 5 corners to try and make sure that his tyres survive to give himself any chance of taking the title here. Calzo sitting in 3rd place with a nice bit of a gap to K Nyanda, who is in 4th place. And then we have got that battle that we were focusing on a little bit from a Racing GP with Rickster closing that gap. That's getting really close now. I am going to keep running through the order a little bit, so Tony, keep an eye on that gap potentially, or fight potentially. Garfield, he's in 7th place at the moment with Gonk in 8th. And then we've got Farfba all battling with Yuzi still. Farfba, I think, has just made the move on Yuzi. Side by side, there you go. Yuzi's got DRS, so he's going to be able to benefit down into the triple chicane. This is a fight for 9th place. But Farfba has a look at the inside, thinks better of it. Or does he? Maybe he doesn't think better of it. He hasn't got a choice. Excuse me. Still trying to make something of it though, not quite able to do. And then we've got Lord JB in 11th place. Go on, what you got?
He had a very poor last sector the last lap round. He was 6 seconds slower than normal. So he's had a little spin or had a comfort break or tea break or something.
Maybe had both. You never know with Farfba. Okay, so we are on the last lap of the race, and what drama we've had, and potentially not in the best of ways here in Abu Dhabi. But Curly Whirly, he's only got 2 corners to go before he completes the race here in the World Series. He's got a back marker ahead of him. So Curly Whirly then round the final corner. He is going to take the victory here in Abu Dhabi. Well done to him. Now focusing back to Conzo. He hasn't got any punctures yet. So 2 corners to go for him, and it looks like it could be 2nd place. I think the podium interviews are going to be interesting today, but it is 2nd place for Conzo. Calzo coming round the final 2 corners to take 3rd place. 26 seconds off the leader, but it's still a fantastic result for him. K Nyanda's into 4th, but Rickster's got ahead of From a Racing GP. I'm guessing that's what you were shouting at, Temp, and I completely ignored you. My apologies.
Not just that, he's on that punctures. Someone's pre-race comments I was about to read out. Yeah, gone completely opposite way for him. David Hart's got a front left puncture.
Okay, so Rickster then, he's going to cross the line to take fifth. Oh, GP nearly binned it in the penultimate corner. He is going to cross the line though. That'll be a bit of an eye-opener for him. But yeah, Dave Harp, just seen him there, passed and lapped by Garfield, who's going to come home to take 7th place. And Gonk, on his ultra soft tyre, he likes some purple. He's going to be taking 8th position, and Farfba's not that far behind him. But it's been an interesting race for Gonk, and potentially an interesting race for Farfba as well. Yuzi, you're going to be crossing the line in 10th place, just behind Farfba. And then Lord JB, who I tried a little bit of reverse psychology on him today with his pre-race comments. Looks like it's going to be 11th place across the line for Lord JB.
You bullying the driver, Dave?
No, I wasn't bullying him. I wasn't bullying him at all. Okay, so just a reminder, guys, to, if you can, take a screenshot of the result for us. Yeah, what a way to end the season. Talk about oddity at its finest. I mean, that's definitely, I think, the case here. So, yeah, I mean... I don't even know how to begin explaining that race.
Interesting season finale.
Yeah, you can't take it away from Curly though. He's had a good race here, done nothing wrong, pole win.
Yeah.
So that's where you can start.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things about it as well. I mean, I know we talked quite a bit about it. We will get the podium sitters in a few moments' time, guys. But it's like you say, I mean, it doesn't matter what you do, it penalises somebody. I mean, had we restarted and let's say Curly Whirly and Conzo end up being crashed out by somebody else and it's not their fault, then all of a sudden you've knock-on affected other people's races who are now DNFing when they were comfortable.
I have something on that. WSR admin coming to get here. I was speaking to him during that race, and he was actually saying I should restart it. But I did speak to him about certain things, and he messaged the drivers, and Millstar's got back to him. Millstar didn't disconnect,
so we lost 2 drivers.
That was one less driver. So it was either 2 or it was just him or. Yeah, however many it was. So
the thing is, like every other race of the season, people disconnect. Like 2, we would continue. So if we would restart now, people could complain about that. Is there a special rule about the last race and so on and so on. But luckily I am not admin, so I'm just.
Well, technically I'm not anymore. Yeah. I knew this last race would be potentially one of the toughest. You know what? Because of everything that happened there, I never even got to re-mention question of the day. So I'm going to quickly do that. Question of the day. Get your answers in on the YouTube chat if you can, guys. How many F1 drivers have there been? I have got my answer from a particular website, and that's the answer I'm going to go with. So if somebody else comes along and said, no, that's wrong, it says this on this website, well, that's on that website. I'm using this website, and I'm not going to tell you which one it is. So yeah, how many how many drivers have competed in Formula 1? So that'll be the question of the day. We will get the podium sitters in a moment, but we have obviously got a lot of drivers' pre-race comments that we've not been able to go through. So I may be able to help you out here, Tony, because not Tony.
Well, as you know what Tony just said, you know exactly his comment I've got. Sorry.
Well, you know what, Tony, should we make Temper read them, or shall I do it for you guys for this last one?
I don't mind reading a few.
Go on then, read us out from a Racing GP's pre-race comments.
So. First of all, to start it off, this is just how everyone knows how GP is with his pre-race comments, right? We asked him what tyres driver's going to bring. So we're expecting either softer, balanced, or harder. He just said dry tyres.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the type of person he is. Anyway, on to the actual question. Last race for you as an FR admin after a number of years. What's your hopes for tonight? He answered with, I'm hoping to finish the race. Auf Wiedersehen, au revoir, arrivederci, adios porra. Okay, that one I'm not saying because I don't know how to. No, I don't know how to say that one. Farewell von nu. Plus tard. Bonus tot zens. Bless I Billy. Has to Lisa, baby. I'll be back, that's all, folks. I'll give it that. That's quite a good comment.
And I'm quite sad. There was finish in there, and you completely missed it. So
Which one?
Yeah, the one you said you can't say that.
There's one or two in there. I'm just like, I don't know how I'm going to pronounce that. I'm skipping that.
Oh, I don't know. Right, okay, let's get a few of these done and then we'll get the podium drivers in. So, Kane Nyanda, I spoke to him earlier on and said, last race of your debut season in FRR, has it been a successful season for you? He said, I won't be looking on using the Ultra Softs tonight, to be honest. It's not been the best season I've ever had, but it definitely hasn't been the worst. There's been a couple of good moments this season at Malaysia and USA where I battled hard with the front runners, but other than that, it's been a pretty standard season. I haven't won a race, so I wouldn't say successful, but it's been fun to say the least. I'll be hoping to get a clean start and put on a show for you guys tonight. Well, he definitely did. His battle with Calzo was definitely one of the highlights of tonight's race. Calzo was an interesting one. I said to him, your brother is in the title fight. Do you think he can do it? Oh, actually, we touched on Calzo's earlier, but I will mention it anyway. Do you think he can do it? Do you think he could? Do you think you could have been up there had you been racing from round one? He said he doesn't know what tyres he was going to bring, and that it is possible for Conzo to do it. However, reports from last race rather spoiled the fight in his opinion, because it's now a 12-point gap and a lot harder. He needs people to get in the way of Hindle. Let's see. Dave the Harp. I asked Dave, it's been a tough season. What would you consider a success for tonight? He said a pole and a win. And then he laughed. And he said, but in reality, getting to the end of the race trouble-free is a success for me. I think he did get to the end of the race trouble-free on that one. Okay, we've done. Yep, we've done Ricksters already. RDB, I think we've not done RDBs. So this season has been hit with trouble for RDB for him on and off the track. So what antics have you and your teammate been up to in Abu Dhabi is what I asked him. He said, evening to the FRR family. I'll be taking the harder compounds as I think the Ultra Softs are useless. A useless race tyre at this circuit. He said I've been good since Mexico and stayed away from his teammate and the antics. It's down to business tonight. Our aim is to beat the Herbies in the Constructors. Last but not by no means least, just like to thank Mr. DP and Mr. GP for making this league by far the best league I've ever competed in. You guys will be a big miss to the league, but like I said to GP, it's time to rest those old bones. Milstar. I asked Milstar if he's going to end the season with a bang. So Brazil showed your pace. Can you show it again here? He said, hope I can get a surprisingly high result in what's been an on and off season. Everyone is focused on the title battle, but I wouldn't mind making a nuisance of myself and get involved in a battle at the front. Well, you were definitely part of the nuisance, that's for sure. Let's see. Lord JB, I mentioned about his, I had a bit of an interesting pre-race comment. I thought I'd go reverse psychology on him. So I said, your second World Series reserve drive, no doubt you will be given damage in turn one, so what's your goal after that? I bet he got through turn one without any damage, by the way. So he said, I'm not sure on the tyres yet, and you had to shoot the turn one issue I'm having. I'm going to take turn one slow. If I see an issue ahead, I'll dart onto the outside, but if I don't get past turn one, I may go mental. In all honesty, just hoping for some good points and a good result for the team, hopefully better than in Brazil. Let's see, who else have we got? Curly Whirly, we did Curly Whirlies, and Gonk. Okay, with Gonk, I asked him, you get to be the last admins pick rookie of the season. Could you end the season with a best ever result? And he said, hopefully will get to where I was in the reserves race and hoping to get the best result I possibly can and challenge people. It would be nice for a top 5 result and mix it up with the best. Well, he did have a good result. It was a good race for him. Okay, we've mentioned Jason's already and SB O'Malley Keketchers, so yes, I think we've done all the pre-race comments there. So guys, time to get the podium sitters in of Curly Whirly, Conzo and Calzo. And if Hindle is still online, I did speak to Hindle and Conzo saying no matter what happens on Thursday night, we would invite them both into the podium chat because they are the Constructors' Champions. I don't know if Hindle is going to still be online or is going to be willing to talk or anything like that, but if he is, we should send him an invite anyway.
So he gets an invite as well? Okay.
Yep.
I will do that.
Well, I hope you had fun this season, DP.
It's been interesting. It's been interesting to say the least.
Well, yeah, you can't forget Tony and his. Are you gonna ask Curly what colour his underwear is tonight, mate?
This might be my last commentary, racing commentary. So you never know what I'm going to do.
I reckon a Razor should take a picture of his famous underwear and post it onto Facebook. But no. Just a quick reminder of question of the day again. How many F1 racing drivers have there been? I've changed the way I've said it a few times just to add to the confusion. But yeah, so in its completion, how many F1 drivers have raced? So yeah, that's the question. Put your answers on the YouTube comments. So as the podium sitters come and join us, I've got a feeling that this could be one of the... We've just had potentially one of the oddest, weirdest, most difficult races of the season. I think we could potentially be in for one of the oddest, weirdest, most difficult podium interviews as well. But we'll have to just wait and see how this is going to go. So Calzo has joined us as well as Curly Whirly. We're just waiting for Conzo to join us as well, and then we shall crack on with the podium interviews. But I know for myself, I do just need to quickly grab a drink, and I have just seen as well that Lord JB did say he did get through turn 1 without any damage, so the reverse psychology worked. See, I wasn't bullying anyone, Temp. I helped him get through that turn 1 without any damage.
He didn't get any points. Yeah, how come with that one?
True. Well, I can't do anything more. Turn 1 was down to me, the rest was up to him. Okay, Hindle has also joined us in the commentary box, so we're just waiting for Conzo. I've not said this for a while, but I will just say it again. Please try and not swear, folks. Curly Whirly, Calzo, don't swear. Hindle, you never do, so don't worry about it. But yeah, I think we're in for a potential... an interesting conversation, let's put it that way. So we're just waiting for Conzo to come and join us, I believe. Tony?
Yeah, Conzo is missing.
Okay.
It'll just be a minute.
No problem.
Yeah, his ironing board fell on him, that's what's happened.
Is he cracking the champagne, Cal?
Well,
I don't know.
Well, I heard a rumour before the race, and I never told my co-commentators. I did hear a rumour before the race, and I didn't want to believe if it was true or not. So that's why I've not mentioned it at all throughout the race. But I did hear a rumour, and maybe you, Calzo, can confirm or deny it, or even Conzo can confirm and deny it himself. But I heard a rumour that Conzo's steering wheel would not turn in one direction.
Yes. That did happen like an hour before the race.
And you ended up racing on a pad instead?
No.
Oh.
I thought I was going to have to, but like basically what happened was, like, when you set up your wheel on the F1 and you go in the settings and you try and calibrate your wheel to the game.
You had a turn left, but you didn't have a turn right?
It was like 100 turn left and a 93 turn right. So I was doing that quite a lot, and it was annoying me. So I kept restarting the PlayStation all the time, and it took me about half an hour to fix it. And then I took it all apart, put it together again, and it just seemed to work. So I was like, oh, thank God, that's that one problem over.
Fair enough. Okay, right then, time for the podium interviews. And okay, guys, this could, no idea how this one's going to go. If somebody's watching YouTube as well that's in the podium interviews, you might want to turn the volume down because we're getting a major echo on it. Thank you very much. So, podium interviews, we're going to do things slightly differently here, given the type of race we've had today. Curly Whirly, fantastic performance today, took the victory, well done, but we're not going to come to you just yet. It's nothing against yourself, but there's a few stories that I think we may need to get onto straight away. There's no point beating about the bush. Conzo, Hindle, title decider here in Abu Dhabi. It's not gone the way that anybody wanted it to go. It's gone in potentially one of the most difficult ways it could have done, as far as drivers are concerned, as far as admins are concerned, viewers, co-commentators. There's arguments on YouTube, there's arguments on Facebook, there's differences of opinions. So what's the situation as far as you two are concerned? What's your views on it? What's your opinions on it? What's your feelings on it? Fire away.
I'll just say this to start with. It's just, well, it was looking to be a good race, to be honest. We were battling a little bit at the start, and then Ryan got the jump on me, and then got past him again, and then that was it. The connection went. I was kind of driving around speechless for ages, just because we went all the way to the last race of the season, and this has happened. It's really bad, and I'm pretty sure everybody would feel terrible if it happened to them. So, my view on the whole thing. I mean, the thing is, if people are calling restarts and stuff like that, I mean, it happens. I mean, I've been through it a lot of disconnections. Believe you me, it's happened to me so many times before, but maybe not in a championship race.
So that is one view of it. Hindle, obviously not the way you would have wanted this to go down at all. Konzo mentioned there about he was driving around speechless for a few laps. We had 3 commentators in the commentary box speechless for 3 laps. I've got a feeling you possibly weren't speechless. I can imagine there was plenty of vocabulary being used. Your view on it, your opinion on it, without swearing if you can.
Surprisingly, right, when it happened, the first thing I thought was, well, that's strange, because I'm still in my party, I'm still connected to the internet, I'm still on PSN, I wasn't lagging in the race, it's just gone. And then there was people on YouTube saying, oh, we've got to do it at the same time, restart, but I thought 2 or 3 of us will be gone, it's probably not going to happen. It is what it is, you know what I mean? There's nothing you can do. There's nothing I could have done. Not really much you can say on it, apart from it is what it is.
Okay, question for you. Well, 2 questions for you. What actually happened then? Did you get an error message? Did you get a game crash?
Well, it just put me to the main screen and said lost connection to PlayStation Network when I was still on PlayStation Network.
So potentially,
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I know I've had similar errors like that when playing other games. I've had it on FIFA, I've had it on Killing Floor, because you do sit there and go, how the hell have I lost PlayStation Network? I'm still talking to people in the chat party. What the hell? So yeah, I've seen that one. So I mean, I feel for you. My other question though is, obviously we were talking a little bit over the last couple of weeks, and you were talking about how you may be going into the Forces, which is why you're not sure if you're going to be able to race next season. So if that happens and you do end up going into the Forces, which I would say massive respect to you, if they asked you if you'd mind being placed in Scotland, would you tell them to bugger off, you're not going there?
No, nothing like that. Nothing. We're fun. We've got nothing against each other. I mean, we're good mates. So, and obviously this last race was in our own pies and that, obviously. But yeah, there's nothing. He's not gone. Ran cool mass up and say, oh, blah, championship fight, disconnect him, nice one. You know, there's nothing we could have done. There's nothing to do. Apart from that, so it is what it is.
You know what? In some ways, it wouldn't. Okay, it's not great the way that it's gone down. I think everybody can agree on that. I think even Konzo could agree it could have finished in a better way. But I mean, having said that, I mean, come on, the fight between you two, surely there was no way it was going to end any other way than somebody having a problem in their race, because it's happened all season effectively, hasn't it? Something has happened in so many races to you guys this season that in many ways it'd have been an abnormality to have had a normal race. But it is what we all wanted, unfortunately not to be. It doesn't take away the fact, though, that, I mean, Hindle and Konzo, you have both been the outstanding drivers of the season, and okay, there's been a few pesky World Series reserve drivers come through, taking victories and popping on pole positions and sticking on ultra soft tyres to get pole and all that kind of stuff, but you have been the better of the group. That's why you've been there fighting for the title and taking the Constructors' title as early as you did. So I'm just going to quickly say, first off, congratulations to Konzo 1993 and Hindle, the petrol pumpers Mercedes, for taking the Constructors' title, and also provisionally to Konzo for taking the World Series Championship. I mean, if Konzo wanted to be nice, he could always forget to upload his footage, but I doubt that'll happen.
I don't think that's
Don't even mention stuff like that, honestly.
But I am going to try and sort of...
house phones disrupting your internet, stuff like that. Oh my lord.
Yep. Well, I am going to try and revert back to the norm a little bit. So Hindle, don't rush off just yet. Try and revert back to the normal sort of podium style interviews, and go to the race winner from today, Curly Whirly. Congratulations on taking the victory in what for yourself may have seemed a rather uneventful race, but it was all kicking off behind you. But I'm going to hand over to my co-commentators to see what questions they have for our race winner here in Abu Dhabi. So, ARAZOR21, what have you got for Curly Whirly?
TempFear, what you got for Curly Whirly?
You cheat.
Right there. Still got any questions, mate? I'll let you have a think. Curly, pole position. Perfect lap. Only one under the 1 minute 39s and set of super softs.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't perfect by any means. I went quicker in the reserves race last week on the same tires, so I mean it wasn't a bad lap, but it could have been better. But yeah, I mean I was kind of surprised that the other drivers weren't closer. I know that Mali had a couple of mistakes on his lap, and then yeah, so it was a decent lap, but it wasn't perfect.
Yeah, I was going to mention Mali because I mean I've seen him do some ridiculous times myself, even in a practice session. So was you surprised when you saw him where he was? Was you in a chat about with him? Do you know if he had any problems or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean from when I put in my time, it was a 30.7. I thought that he was going to beat that, but yeah, I mean then he finishes his lap and he's like, oh, I've done a 39.2. I was sat there thinking, what? Because he'd been very quick in practice. I've been doing sort of mid 38s on the supers, so yeah, I was expecting more from him, but he was quick in the race until he disconnected at least.
Yeah. Start of the race, turn one. Honestly, at this point, myself, I can't see what happened. But was it a case of just get through turn one cleanly, and just try and leave the two Mercedes behind, just try and not get involved?
Yeah. I just tried to leave as much room as I could through turn one. Just main focus for this race is make sure I don't hit one of the Mercs, and yeah, that went all right. And then yeah, just tried to pull away, and me and Mali were trying to work together to get away from them. But yeah, the start went well, but as the first stint went on, I didn't pull as much of a gap as I wanted, and then I kind of realized that Konzo was one stopping, and at that point, I wasn't too sure if I was going to win it. But yeah, as the race went on, I feel like my pace got better and better.
Yeah. I mean, did you consider a one stop at all, or was it two stop always on the cards? Because considering Konzo did do the one stop, he pitted very early, in my opinion. But like I say, did you always plan to do the two?
Always kind of planned on doing the two. I mean, the one stop when I pitted, I had about 60% tire wear. So if I'd really stretched the tires, I could have made it work. But I felt like the two stop was quicker. And yeah, just the front tire wear here for me was quite high. So yeah, it was. If I had to, I could have stretched it out, but I figured that the two stop was quicker.
Fair enough. Well done on the provisional race win. Razor, you thought of a question yet?
Yeah. I had time. So.
The answer is blue.
No.
What's the question? Hang on, what's the question? If the answer's blue, what's the question?
What color is the sky?
Oh, okay, good answer.
Yeah, sure. But it must feel great to end the season on a high note. So, what's your opinion of your season and what's next for you?
Sorry, can you repeat that one?
What was that?
Sure.
That's when you have an older brother trying to be as annoying as he possibly can be.
Oh, right.
Oh, it came there. Okay. So yeah.
Callum's got that problem.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it must felt good to end the season on a high note. So what's your opinion of your season and what's in the future for you?
I mean, it depends on some things to do with the next game. I'm not entirely sure where I'm going to be racing next season, but I don't know. I think I'll probably aim to grab myself a seat in the championship for next season. I've slowly been learning the without the racing line, which has been going slower than I would have wanted. But on the next game, I'm going to completely, I'm not going to race with it. So yeah, I'll probably race in the championship because of that. But it really just depends on whether I'm able to get a seat over there and if there's space for it, I guess.
Well, good luck for that then, and nice win.
Yep, very well done. Okay, we'll move on to our second place sitter. Don't go anywhere just yet, Curly. So Konzo 1993 took second place in the race. I mean, you mentioned a little while ago, Konzo, about you was having a nice battle with Hindle, and it was an interesting one. I mean, we talked a little bit about it on the broadcast, how perhaps from Hindle's view, he wanted a close fight. From your view, you don't need it to be close because of the amount of points gap that you needed to pull up. At the end of qualifying, though, obviously Hindle was ahead of you, but I spotted at the start of the race straight away you see SBL Malikekech ahead of you lagging. Your heart must have been in your mouth from get-go on that one until you saw him lagging past Hindle as well, and maybe there was a little hope that if it's going to go wrong, it'd go wrong then.
Yeah, I mean, it was a bit of a problem, but by the qualifying, I mean, I was a bit disappointed with qualifying. I definitely did have a 39.0 in me, but I just didn't quite hook the lap together, unfortunately. So, yeah, I mean, P4 was what it was. Obviously, I had the strategy for the race to go one stop. But, going into turn one, I noticed in the formation that Malikekech's car was going side to side. It was just mad. Honestly, I was like, wow, I hope he doesn't cause a crash. So I kind of jinxed myself at that point, so I was kind of hoping it didn't happen, but thankfully didn't crash into anybody. And then he obviously disconnected, so it made it a bit of a slightly easier race.
Yep. Well, the battle you had with Hindle, it looked like you had slightly better top speed, which, if that's the case, gave you a bit more opportunity to attack. And I mean, you knew that you had to be ahead of him. So once you'd got ahead of him and you were on that one-stop strategy, do you think the one-stop would have beaten the two-stop strategy overall?
Yeah, I mean, my straight line speed was pretty good around here, but also what's the difference is if you're running medium traction compared to full. If you're running full traction, you're a lot slower off these hairpin turns, and especially going down a big straight like that one there. So I knew that a few laps I was behind him, and I knew he was vulnerable down that straight. So I just went for it from there. But the two-stop regarding the one-stop, it was a bit of a debatable one. I wasn't sure what I was going to do before the race for the 2 and 1 until I got to the qualifying. And Dom was like, "One stop, please." But Carly's pace was just he was unbelievably quick this track, and it hasn't been a favourite of mine in recent years. I have struggled with this, but with the wheel I did definitely do a lot better.
Well, couple of things I want to touch on is that when you made your pit stop, we saw Hindle made his pit stop a little bit earlier, got caught in a bit of traffic, and he was in a right fight there, which we expected would have cost him time and you'd have stayed ahead of him. Were your last couple of laps on those super soft tyres just a little bit too slow, and that's where he ended up jumping ahead of you?
My super softs were really struggling after on the lap 11 I was on, I think it was 75 on the rear and about 70 on the front, so I had rear tyre wear problems rather than the front, but I had my brakes all the way to the front, like I had them all the way on 70, but it wasn't making any difference at all throughout the stint, so so I had to pit that lap in case I had a puncture in the lap 12. Because in the practice races that I've done, I got to lap 12 quite comfortably, but I wasn't really battling people then, I suppose. So
yeah, a bit different. Okay, my last question I'll hand over to my co-commentators is obviously the middle phase of the race, everything was up in the air, and when you watch the broadcast back, if you do watch it back, you'll see how difficult a situation it was, or here anyway. But as the race sort of came into its last sort of 8 laps or so, the situation we spotted for yourself is, okay, A, is there a risk of puncture? B, do you preempt it and pit anyway? And C, if you did, what happens if you don't get enough points? So what was the mindset over sort of the last 8 laps regarding any risk of puncture should you make another stop?
I would say all them thoughts ran into my head in the last few laps, but I did say to Dom, I think it was lap 23 or something, I was like, well, I could just play it safe and just put on a set of ultras and go to the end, or even a set of super softs just to be really safe. But I thought, well, I had a big gap to Callum, and I thought, well, if I come out close to him, he may get slipstream and then get past me maybe. So it was just such a big risk pitting. And I knew that I could probably make the end anyway, so I decided just to battle on with it, even though Curly was going away like 1.5 seconds a lap or something.
Well, we did notice that the gap, I mean, you were losing 1.5 to 3 seconds a lap over the last few laps, but we figured it was just to look after those tyres, you'd got the gap. Okay, hand over to my co-commentators. Temp, Tony, got any questions for Conzo?
I'll let Tony go first if he has a question.
Well, yeah, I have a short one. I heard that you and Hindle you were in different chat parties and you had your own engineers. Were that true?
Yeah, for this race it was. I just thought it was a bit easier, personally, just for your own, because we knew obviously the constructors was wrapped up quite a while ago, and then it was literally just about me and him. This last race, so in order to give ourselves maximum concentration. So it's just a shame in the way it turned out.
Were that actually helpful then? The quietness there.
In the race, you could say. Well, it depends. At times, I mean, it happens. Like, I mean, there was one Spa, I think, this year when I crashed into the back of GP. I was shouting, roaring and raving, and Ryan was just driving about the place. So, I mean, it's just what it is when your teammates in a party. Something happens every race. At least someone has some sort of problems. So.
Okay, Tim.
I hate to bring it up, but last race you had post-race penalties. And talking about you potentially making a pit stop just to be safe on your tyres, did that also cross your mind? Because obviously if you do pit, you're a lot closer to guys that are in 4th, 5th, 6th. And then was the case of, okay, if someone was reporting and I get penalties, I can fall behind those guys. So did that also play to your decision to not pit?
Yeah, it did play on my mind a little bit. Because the last race, it would have made it a lot easier this race for me, and all I needed to do was, instead of being 6-point gap, it was a 12-point gap. But it did play on my mind a bit in the last few laps, and that's why I ended up staying out to the end.
Fair enough. I'll stop bombarding you.
Okay, good stuff, Conzo. Don't run away just yet. We'll move on to some other guy who's just been sat there waiting patiently. Calzo, your race had pretty much nothing to do with the Mercs or the Renaults, which in a way was really good, but you had one hell of a fight on your hands for the whole race with some pesky guy in a Williams in the name of Kane Ianda. Looked like a bit of an interesting one for you from lap 1 until about lap 19, lap 20, when you both pitted. So how was you feeling about how your race went today, and the frustrations perhaps of that being in that battle as well?
I knew from lap 1 that I'd be probably battling him the whole race. I started with full traction on the first stint, but I realised way too quickly that I was too slow. So I changed it to medium in the second stint, and I was a lot faster. And then I caught back up to Kane after he undercutted me. And then obviously Steve was my teammate, holding up Ryan and Kane so I can catch up. But yeah, after catching him up, I was in an absolute battle with him for 7-8 laps, just trying to get past him and stay ahead. He had good straight line speed. And there was a little bit of a problem because sometimes in the straight, he would go really fast and he'd slowly come back into me, but he was lagging slightly. I'm not saying that because the slipstream would make me look an idiot. He had a little bit of lag about him. Midway through the straight, he'll just go backwards and then go a little bit forwards. But I just stuck out the slipstream and stayed behind him for a bit. Knew that I'd get him in the pit lane.
Okay. When you made your first stop, you came out, and it didn't take long for it to get very busy around you. I mean, 2-stop strategy, I'm guessing, was always on the cards, never a plan for a 1-stop?
I was thinking about a 1-stop, but I've not actually pulled it off on this track. And I thought the 2-stop was faster anyway, but changing the traction before the race was a stupid idea.
Okay, good stuff. Now, somebody's asked on YouTube, where did you get that good setup from? Now, I also heard a little bit of a rumour that last night a certain someone was annoying a few people with his straight line speed when they had DRS behind him and he was pulling away from them. I won't mention any names, but I'm just wondering if you went with that particular straight line bonus, shall we say? I'd better not say that. People will think there's some kind of glitch that's in use. Did you go with a setup that gave you better straight line speed, or did you try it and thought, no, I'll stick to what I've got anyway?
Well, on my controller today, I looked on the advanced wheel settings because Dom told me to, and I pressed the accelerator and it only came up with 89 throttle. And then I put another controller on and that was 100, so I'm using that right now. So I was losing so much time down the straights to everyone. I think my speed trap was like 204. And I changed it and I was going like 212 in the speed trap.
Oh, so in Brazil, when I know because I've talked to you about it, you complained about having a slipstream glitch. Although I mentioned to you the car ahead of you had, I think, 2 on their front wing and you on 6. But is that something that affected you then in Brazil, that you weren't getting maximum throttle?
It's probably affected me since like Singapore or something, because it's been a lot easier for me to drive a medium traction since then.
It's because it's not going full throttle.
It's not going full throttle.
Interesting. Okay.
I did also borrow someone's setup after a bit of nagging.
Okay, I've got one more question. Comzo, what did you do to his controller?
His controller, he done it himself. FIFA.
Oh, yeah, well, if it's FIFA.
Ultimate Team is all I used to say. You need to ask him about Ultimate Team.
Yeah.
He doesn't even play it anymore because of it.
Oh, don't get me started. If I live streamed me playing FIFA, I'd get banned from YouTube. Anyway,
you got Ronaldo on your team.
No comment. Okay, well, Calzo, it was an interesting race anyway. It was a cracking battle. I can imagine it was a bit frustrating at times, unable to get past Kane Ianda. There was one moment we saw on board with you through the triple chicane where you had a good run on him, and it looked like you was going to go for it, and you backed out of it, and he left you the space, and you probably could have gone for it, but respect to you for keeping it nice and clean there. But I'm going to hand over to my co-commentator, see if they've got any questions for our third place sitter, Calzo.
Calzo, I mean, Dave said at the start you didn't really get involved with the Renaults and Mercedes, but you did a little bit, you could say. I mean, you were behind Conzo at one point. Did you consider that you could potentially get involved with those two after getting past Kane at the very start? Because you did seem to, like I say, have very good straight line speed and could have potentially, you were pressuring Hindle, I think it was at one point.
Yeah, I slowly fell off the back of them. I didn't do any pre-race practice on fuel traction. I just stuck on it to be safe, and realised I really wasn't good in it. So I was behind them for a bit, but I was struggling to keep Kane by me. Eventually, Kane went for an overtaking me, and that's when the whole battling started. And then Ryan and Con just ran away into the sunset behind me.
Yeah, I don't know. You get to change the setting during the race. Turn it off, you never have that difficulty of changing it. You never have that problem, then.
It's only my first season.
True.
That is very true. You've done very well.
That is true. And just for anyone that doesn't know, to put it into perspective of just how new Calzo is to Formula One and to F1 as a game, just before, I think in the race before Germany, I asked Calzo if he knew the Hockenheim circuit. He said no. I says, okay, well, the first corner's a flat-out left-hander. And he didn't know any the wiser. You would have done when you got to the track. You'd probably say, I got it because right. But that does just go to show that's how new Calzo is. So with Calzo's pre-race comments where I said, like, had you been in from the start of the season, could you have fought for the title? And he's thinking of, yeah, maybe. Watch out for him next season. Because as a noob, which you are, well, not now, you've got a year under your belt, but as a noob coming in and doing what he's doing, great stuff. Sorry to have put it in there, but yeah, I thought I'd get it in there. Carry on.
That's fine. It's only his brother that bullied him to get in the game anyway.
No, actually, technically, he bullied it. He done it to himself, and then it was Dom that signed him up for the WSR. Even though Cam didn't want to race,
I gave him no permission to do it. I had the game for 2 days.
There's another backstory there. We'll leave that for another day. All right.
Yeah, Tony, any questions for Calzo?
Well, speaking of that circumstances of start of the season and everything, Calzo, how do you think your season went? Like, in your perspective, like, was it good for, in your opinion? Like, we all think you did great, but what about you?
I think I'm capable of more. Like, there's a few races where I crashed out or had a bit of contact with someone, or just didn't quite do the right setups and changing them before races, and that affected it. But I think I've done well for my first season, but it could have went, I think, a lot better.
Well, no one is perfect at the start, so experience is the key in here. Like, everyone makes mistakes, especially at the start. But yeah, well done.
Yeah, definitely well done. Okay, we'll be wrapping this up fairly soon, but I've got a few honourable mentions to do. I'm going to quickly go back to Hindle because I believe he has been sitting there patiently while we chat to the other guys, and I can imagine it's very frustrating. Hindle, Conzo, I want to say a massive thank you to the both of you this season. Definitely made it an interesting one. And I can honestly say the disconnection situation during this race, that was possibly the most difficult situation I've ever had to deal with as an admin. And I've had to deal with a lot of stuff as an admin. But that was definitely one of the most difficult situations to ever have had to have dealt with. So if there are any hard feelings, or if there is any kind of bitterness or disagreements with it, I could fully understand that, because it's definitely one of the most difficult decisions I've ever had to make when it comes to front row racing, that's for certain. Obviously we all would have liked it to have ended on the track rather than the way that it did. So I mean, potentially especially to Hindle, apologies that it didn't go in your favour, or not necessarily in your favour, but could potentially be seen as could have been done different. Definitely the most difficult situation. But Hindle, your final thoughts on your season overall, comparison to last season, attempting to defend the World Series crown, and potentially even the pressures that comes with it, and what pressures Konzo may have if it is confirmed he is the two-time champion.
Compared to last season, I think there's way more competition this season. I think last season it was just literally me and my teammate. This season there's been a lot more competition. As well, I don't think I had any disconnections last season. This season, I think me and Con are probably both up there with the same amount of disconnections. Well, including today. I had to give a race up this season as well when I was away, but on the whole, I think I enjoyed the season a lot more because it was a lot closer.
Yeah.
And it was unpredictable going into the race. Because he was on. I'm not going to get into the wheel pad thing. He was on a wheel. I was on a pad. Every race he had better tyre wear than me. He won a lot of races off me purely on strategy. I think the main one I can remember is Britain, where I can only do 2-stop and he did a 1-stop, and he beat me by a couple of seconds. But yeah, all in all, it's been a fun season. It's just a bit difficult the way it's ended. It's a more bitter pill to swallow when you've got the point sort of advantage going into the last race and to lose it like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And even though we've talked a few times about obviously your undecidedness over next season. Obviously, it would be a massive shame if you're not able to race, because obviously, you are a champion and you're definitely one of the best in the World Series. But I hope you are prepared that no matter what your excuse or reasoning may be, people are going to say, "Oh no, you're just too old now. You passed it. You're over the hill. That's why you're not racing. You can't beat these new guys. That's why you're not racing next season." All of those rumours are going to come out. They're going to come at you, no matter how untrue they may be. So I hope you're prepared for those. But either way, it has been, as up and down as the season has been, it has, from a viewer's perspective, been one hell of a roller coaster ride, that's for certain. Okay, gonna do question of the day now. So I haven't had my guesses off my co-commentators yet, so I'll get them off everybody that's in the chat party with us. Question of the day, dead simple one, dead short one. How many F1 racing drivers have there been? Curly Whirly.
No. Crikey.
400.
400. Cracking guess, that is. Okay, Konzo.
I have honestly no idea. We'll go with 500.
I'm just going for the I'll go a bit higher than him strategy.
Yes.
Calzo, what about yourself?
How long's F1 been going for? Can you tell me that?
About 60 years.
I'm going to go to the devil's number of 666.
Okay. Hindle.
I'm going to go for 800.
Flipping hell.
Okay, TempFear.
I was going to go right and just said reflect first, but I've got to change my mind, actually. 550.
550?
Yeah.
Okay. Tony.
If you're playing Price is Right, I think I'm going with 399.
399. You sneak. Now, I do know that there have been quite a few guesses on YouTube, and it could take us a while to go through them all. But there have been a number of guesses, and thank you so much to the viewers for getting involved in the question of the days. It just adds a little bit of spice to an already great show. But unless anybody else has got closer, which I don't think they have. Let me just have a quick look. I don't think anybody has. Maybe Tony can correct me if I have.
No,
got it
my
wrong?
computer crashed, so
All right, okay.
I think it's not working. So yep,
Okay,
you're
okay.
on your own there.
Okay, I'm on my own. In that case, then, unless I'm mistaken, Hindle, you've won a prize today. You've not got it absolutely spot on, but the answer is 865. In the history of Formula One, there have been 865 F1 racing drivers, and that is including the 4 new ones from this season. But yeah, that's a lot of drivers when you think back to it. So, Tony, your idea of going one lower was a poor decision. You should have gone 801.
One higher.
That you should have done. Okay, right, time to start wrapping this up, and this is where we'd usually say join us next week on the Front Row Racing YouTube channel. But the season has come to an end, so there isn't going to be a show next week on the Front Row Racing YouTube channel. What you'll probably find is going to happen now, there's going to be a bit of a break for the FRR admins as they get preparations started for Season 8, which will be on the new game as long as it works properly. But what I would say is don't expect the new game to come out and the season to start straight away, because recommendations will be made to the admins to get the game tested, see what problems they are, see what provisions you may have to put in place. So maybe a few weeks after game release that the season gets started. Also, there are going to be new FRR admins taking Front Row Racing forward in the future. If you've been following us on Facebook and on YouTube lately, you'll know all about that. And if you don't, myself and Front Row Racing GP are stepping down as Front Row Racing admins. I've been doing it for a number of years now. Got the legal
time coming.
Oh yeah, it sounds. I'll get on to that. I'll get on to that in a moment. Actually, I mean, I know for myself, it's been 5 years as an FRR admin, and it's taken a lot of time. But we've got the league to a point where we're happy with how everything has gone. And I mean, GP were talking the other day, is looking back, do we think this season has been a success? Asked me an hour and a half ago, I'd say yes. Asked me now, I'd say yes. Apart from tonight's race, definitely one of the most weird we've ever had. But as a season, yes, it's been successful. World Championship, World Series have been brilliant. The reserve events have been fantastic, doing exactly what they need to do. And now it's time for us to hand the reins over to new admins to see what they can do with Front Row Racing going on into the future. So I'd ask that the viewers and the drivers and the fans give those guys time to get their feet settled in and see how they are going forward. TempFear being one of the new admins, Coming to Get You being one of the new reserve admins as well, and there'll be further updates on admins and volunteer roles that are still available to be applied for. Information will come out more about those in the next few days. But that does mean...
quickly say,
go on.
This would be a nice point where, like, on behalf of all of us, we'd like to say this is a nice gift we all got you, but we haven't. No, the gift we did get you was tonight's race, actually.
Yeah, thanks. I knew today we were going to throw up some words. There was something that somebody said to me a couple of weeks ago, actually. I'll quickly mention it. Was they said to us that they thought it was a nice gesture that myself and Front Row Racing GP were handing over the reins. And I mean, there's no other way that we would have done it. It's something that we've been planning for quite a long time. In that we'd take it to a certain point, and then we'll hand it over to the new generation. We've never wanted anything in return for it other than to see great races, and for most part, that's exactly what we've seen. And as for you, Temp, saying it's been a long time coming, you know what, it has been. And point on this is, I want to mention this for a few reasons actually. I never intended on being a Front Row Racing admin for this season we've just done. For anyone that's followed Front Row Racing for a long time, they'll know that I retired from driving at the end of last season. And not only did I retire from driving, but my last act in Front Row Racing was the awards video at the end of last season. That was my parting gift to the FRR community, until I was dragged into continuing on for this season and helping out. So this season was obviously is an unplanned one for myself, but one that I've happily tried to complete in the same way as I have done other seasons, or as close to it as possible. But it is now time to hand the reins over to the new generation. So keep an eye out on the Facebook page, keep an eye out on the YouTube channel for what's going to happen in the future in Front Row Racing, because I think it's going to be exciting. From myself, I just want to thank all of the drivers for taking part. It's you that do the action on track, it's you that make it exciting. We just try and talk about it as best as we can in the commentary box. And on that, I'd like to thank TempFear and ARAZOR21, who I think have done a fantastic job this season in the commentary box, even if we can't understand them half the time. But they have done a fantastic job, and even with ARAZOR with his videos, and the video that he did for the preview, the advert for this race was absolutely fantastic video, and I can only hope that you guys are able to continue doing what you have been doing and carry it on into the future. Okay, anybody else got anything they want to say, or are we ready to say good night, goodbye, God bless, see you later?
Yeah, I'll say something. I mean, honestly, when I first joined this league, I couldn't believe how where it was and how far it's come now. I mean, when you get the reserves coming in, I mean, I mind racing when I was winning the World Series. Oh no, it was World Trophy, then World Series, and then that's when Ryan came through the reserves. And then I was like, wow, he's quick, I'm going to have to get a bit faster. And to now you get to the point where it's now pretty competitive. We're not really sure who's going to really win every race. And yeah, it's looking good for the future. So yeah, just hope that Temp and that do a good job.
Yep, that is true.
Then, mate. Thanks, mate.
Yep, plenty of pressure.
And also, obviously, Dave and Steve. I mean, the league wouldn't have gone on and carried on without used to, really. And several others in the background that we don't really know about. So, yeah, thank you for that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. It's been a pleasure. I heard someone else, I think that was Connor going signing out. Okay, so time to wrap this up then, and it is a little bit emotional for me because it'll be the final time that I say goodbye on the Front Row Racing YouTube channel, and I'll be watching as a viewer to see how these guys and the new guys get on in the Front Row Racing Season 8. So good luck to you all, and thank you very much for watching. Like, subscribe, come check Front Row Racing out on Facebook. That's all for Front Row Racing World Series Season 7, where Conzo provisionally is the first two-time World Series champion. Thank you very much for watching, and these guys will see you all again soon. Goodbye.